opportunity in Fnatic after the history that he's had in the game. He's going to be fully focused. He's going to be in a great position. His mentality is going to be spot on. He's ready to play on LAN again, baby. Smooya's coming back in a big way. Could have been a lot worse, could have been a lot harder. I expected a bit more pushback on the UK Counter-Strike. It's the only scene that is actually more of an embarrassment than North America, so I expected a little bit more, but they were pretty receptive to my workaround.
All right, I have to say, I'm in. I'm sold, Jason. I'm in on Fnatic.
Well, before right. I want in or out, like how deep do you think they can go? If you answer correctly, I'll buy it.
Yeah, well, look, realistically, I think for this Fnatic team coming in, playoffs. Playoffs have got to be the goal.
Buying it.
We'll see where they're going to go from
buying
there.
It, done.
But you got to say, playoffs, they're poised.
Way to aim high, Jason.
Look, Jason, I want to buy not into Fnatic so much as I want to buy into you, that I believe in what you're telling me.
That's what I'm here for.
But I will say that I'm in. I'll take it.
Nice. I'll take that as well. Well, thanks, boys.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, so it's all in on Fnatic, and maybe you're feeling the same way. Well, they're going to be playing Ents over on the B Stream, so be sure to check that one out. Man, Jason was good at selling that. I think he did a bang-up job. That whole thing was like really cool. But Jason, he could sell hairspray to his own kind. Like this guy, he's on a bit of a tear on the selling front. Hugo, we got a banging matchup coming up as well, though, right?
Absolutely. Number 4 in the world taking on number 7, and this is an elim game, Harry. That's the crazy part. We got FaZe taking on Heroic, and this is not the game nor the teams that we expected to see here in the lower bracket getting eliminated on day 2 of IEM Winter. It's a little bit terrifying, Harry, but someone's got to go home. Well-earned wins from the likes of Godsent and Big to take down these 2 teams, and now we're going to have to find out who is cream of the crop, who is going to be able to hold themselves together when it matters most.
Yeah, it's a little bit worrisome, though, for guys like Heroic. You think about the kind of trajectory that these guys have been on in spite of any hardships. They've always been looking good, and this could be one of their worst finishes of the year. So yeah, man, it's all up in the air. Let's throw this one over to the analyst desk, though, and see what they make of it.
Lot to make of things around here. Thank you, gentlemen. And Yanko, I can just see the tension.
Well, I mean, while Jason's selling hairspray to his own kind.
Yeah, what is that?
Maybe we can sell some shampoo to Harry while you're at it.
Ooh, yeah.
Or a comb.
Some conditioner.
Or a comb.
I imagine you got a couple extra combs. So
yeah, I've got a lot of leftover hair products from, back in the day.
Once upon a time. Jason used to have really good looking hair, but now he's gone with something more streamlined and aerodynamic.
This is a very weird analyst desk.
Yeah, well, we're going to get back to the hard cutting facts. Not about haircuts, but more so about who we're cutting off the brackets today. We're talking about Heroic and FaZe, and we're talking about a rough patch for both of these teams to find themselves in lower bracket round of 1 for Group B.
Yeah, I mean, 2 top 10 teams, and one of them is already facing elimination. I think this is the matchup you expected to see in the winners bracket, but they both got upset yesterday by Big and Godsent respectively, and both upsets happened on the same map. It was Mirage, right? It was a bit of a different circumstance, especially for Heroic. Heroic was 10-0 down at the start of both halves, like 5-0, 5-0. They were up 19-10 in opening kills. They were down 5-2 in clutches, so that was just a unique sort of a game. That's a typical best of 1.
Yeah.
If you want a blueprint, how do you upset in a best of 1? You take that Godsent Heroic game.
Yeah, wild scenes for FaZe. I think that's where we start our conversation. It seems like between the 3 of us, we might know a thing or two about FaZe, but ultimately, 2021, not a whole lot to know, Yanko.
Yeah, I mean, as you guys can see on this graphic, ever since FaZe joined CSGO in 2016, that was the JK, Mikelele, Fox lineup. In 2017, they added Nico, and that's where FaZe really established themselves as one of the top teams in the world as a contender. And, IEM Winter is the last tournament of the year for them. As you could see, there are still no trophies this year. That will be the first time in 5 years that they end the year without a single tournament win.
I actually, FaZe is in a very strange place for me. I don't know, this might come off as a bit harsh. I think FaZe has kind of hit their ceiling. I think we've seen how good FaZe can be, and I think them if they go through this tournament, if they get eliminated, especially in this series, which they're the underdog, this is likely that Heroic beats them here and knocks them out of this tournament, then you have to look at this FaZe team and say, where the hell do we go? And what a tough place to be in when you have all these established names. You have Kerrigan, you have this established in-game leader, the pedigree, you have Olaf Meister as well, you've got Rain, but something is not clicking well enough for these guys to be able to perform up to their potential. And when you start thinking about what comes next if they lose this, like where do they go to start getting over that hump? Do they want to improve? They're going to have a really tough decision to make on who's going to stay and who's going to go out.
And weirdly enough, at this event, it's not normally that we look at a player like Katie and say, okay, one of the lowest rated on his teams, but he's up there with Kerrigan in lowest rating upon their teams. That's your IGLs. How important is that?
Yeah, I think it's crucial. Obviously, he's also the upper of the team. And I think also Cadian can bring other things, even if he's not performing that much, but there needs to be a bare minimum, right? Like Heroic did great at the major, but you look at that decider map against G2 in the semifinal, like Cadian just went missing. And if he played just 5% better in that game, G2 probably loses it, and Heroic is in the grand final against Navi. So he needs to find a way to be a bit more consistent and maybe shift some of that focus that he has on motivating everyone else and being loud and jumping out of his chair to actually being a little bit more calm and trying to be a bit more efficient in game.
For me, I'm never really super worried about Cadian's like actual like hard statistics in terms of kills death, because I think he's one of those players who just finds ways to have impact, and I think that's the important factor. He really is quite obviously the emotional leader of this team. He's like the personality leader of this team. He's the guy that gets them all focused in those huddles leading into it, and then when you get in game, even if it's not like consistently 1-2 kills each round, the impact he can have, the half changing round where he gets 3 kills with the AWP.
You know, also talking about the impact and AWPers, I mean, Brocky on the other side, right?
He's a freak.
He had a banger of a game yesterday, 39 kills, almost a 40 bomb, right? Like he was lights out against Big, really tried everything he could to win that game. And for Brocky, it has been, you know, one of the things that you kind of as where you could want him to do better was the impact, like trying to be more aggressive maybe in some of the rounds. I think we saw in recent tournaments at Blast, especially yesterday too, a little bit him trying to do that, like him, you could tell that the work is there to add that aspect to his game as well. And yeah, I'm excited to see what more he can bring to the table. He's been doing great for FaZe ever since he got picked up last year.
He's actually such a funny player to me because he's like quiet and he's like really laid back, and you don't really hear a lot about Brokey, and then all of a sudden he gets into a server and he drops 40 kills.
Yeah. But he does get pumped in game, though. I'll tell you that. Like when there's a good round, or he has a good round, or a teammate has a good round, like Brokey gets pumped up.
Good. That's great. I just always find it funny because like we always talk about there's so many big names in this FaZe team. There's so many names you go to before you get to Brokey, and then it's like, oh, and we didn't even talk about this guy who just dropped 40 kills, who's a beast with the AWP, 3 triple kill rounds of the AWP. So he's been a revelation. I think his improvement is one of the big reasons why FaZe is even in this position to be competitive at some of these events.
So, you know, you said them hitting a ceiling, right? In terms of FaZe. And, you know, I can understand that. For a guy like Brokey being one of the newer players versus, say, an Olaf that's been around for eons, you know, there's still room to run with here. Is that fair to say, Jason?
I think maybe a little bit, but I think for me at least, most of that runway and most of that leniency they get based off their historical pedigree and everything, it's coming to a close.
It's got to be.
Like, guys, it's almost here.
Hey,
like,
Jason,
you know?
Yeah, you also know how it is. Like, sometimes just a good win here and there, like, you know, a run really can raise the confidence and elevate everyone. And for FaZe, a couple of times, maybe you've been a little bit unfortunate. You know, when you go back to LAN, you have to meet Navi in Cologne. Otherwise, it's been a great run. Like, your run ends there. You know, Blast, you make it to the finals in the group. Then you go to the major, right? And it's like you lose to Copenhagen Flames and G2 in the best of ones, and ultimately you drop to VP or a playoff spot, which you already beat in that tournament. It's like, you know, these are some of the games that there's really no excuse anymore. You can't lose to Copenhagen Flames 16-6. You lost to G2 7, you know, whichever times you played. Like, you need to find this. This is like going to sound ridiculous, but you just need to find a way to win some of these games. Doesn't matter how, doesn't matter in which way, right? Like, you just need to find a way to win some of these crucial games.
For me, it's the fact that, you know, the whole conversation around this FaZe lineup has been like, you know, remember through COVID era and through the online era, they were not good. They were ugly playing online. It was bad. No one wanted to watch FaZe. And when the conversation at that point necessarily shifts to, look at all this experience, look at all these kind of you know, veterans we have on this roster. Yeah, online's tough. We're going to be having a tough time. But when we get back to LAN, that's when you're going to see what level we can hit, how good we can be. And if these are the results that are showing us how good you can be, that says it all. Yeah. And you no longer have the luxury of saying, wait till we get back to LAN.
Well, there was that Cologne little time period, right, where they came in, they got pretty far, and I don't think anyone saw that coming.
It's not just that. It's also they beat both Heroic and Gambit in that tournament, right? Like in best of 3 series online. Like, it's not only how far you get, it's who you beat to get there. If you really wanna, you know, do the eye test and judge a team, right? So that gave you a lot of hope. Then first event back, it's Pro League, it's online, they play well. They're the only team with a 3-2 score. They don't make it into the playoffs. And then it's just like becomes a bit tricky after that.
Yeah, it almost gets as tricky as us in a best of 3 veto process. So again, elimination game, you're gonna put it all out there.
This one is really interesting because you know, for FaZe, an obvious pick would be probably Mirage, but the way things went yesterday, do they still want to go for that? Where does their confidence lie? FaZe has also shown us that they're willing to try to punish their opponents with their own map picks, but with how some of these games have went, do they try something else against Heroic? Maybe go back to Ancient, maybe try Overpass potentially. They've had some success on that map, and actually they go to something completely different in terms of Inferno.
I was gonna say they've played a couple series recently, and Inferno wasn't in either of them, so this is a bit of a switch up now for FaZe to pick into that map. We saw a lot of Nuke and Mirage in the previous one, and no reason for Heroic not to go back to it anyways. Nuke is gonna be a solid pick for them, and FaZe is gonna have a really rough time there, I think.
Yeah, Heroic Nuke always being a staple for them, won 8 out of the last 10, and we see FaZe get rid of Overpass themselves, and Mirage, they
Cool.
they kind of shake hands and say, we've all had some shaky games recently, but we still feel pretty good about this map.
Started out weird, ended in a comfort pick.
Yeah, it didn't help Heroic not picking up a single pistol yesterday against Godsent on Mirage. But then again, we have to get all the way to the very end. I want to start with this one going into Inferno. Yanko, who wins it right here?
Just Inferno?
Just Inferno.
I think FaZe takes this one. I unfortunately don't see him winning Nuke, so I feel like for them it has to be a 2-1 win if that's going to happen. And hey, we know Heroic, they're aggressive on the CT side, dynamic, they get to start on that side. FaZe cannot allow themselves to have a slow start. If that happens, Heroic can just run away with the game.
I'm having a tough time building up confidence for FaZe, despite the fact that I like a lot of the players they got on the team. I'm just going to take Heroic.
You sold us Fnatic, so here we are, Jason.
Yep.
I guess
here we go.
That's on the B stream.
That's on the B stream.
That is definitely that. For us, though, it's the A stream all day, all the way. We're going to be jumping into FaZe versus Heroic, and we're doing it with Harry and Hugo starting on Inferno. Take it away, guys.
Oh, yes. I can't wait to get this one started. Elimination on the line. And FaZe with a T-side start here. I like what we're getting out of Heroic already, right? They're looking confident to open this one. It's a little peek down through alt mid, but it doesn't just stop at Tessez. Look at Shush and also take a look at Refresh. All three of them grouping and pushing. This is very peculiar. FaZe should not be prepared for this. Even with Rain dealing with that first match, they're holding for it. Bro, if you're Refresh, you're going, this is cringe, man. Like, they're in spawn, they're holding me. Oh, he's dead in the door. And now the rest of the boys from FaZe running into this B site. They're still too strong here for Heroic, but this is a pistol that FaZe might somehow pick up.
Strong the word you want to use, getting decimated. FaZe just run into B. They've seen enough in alt middle, but still Heroic held on their B-bomb site. Not for long, though. Tessez 1-on-4, and it's a done deal. Nice kills out of FaZe, and yeah, good patience. As soon as you spot that heavy alt mid peak, you've got a double setup for Heroic. Even though you don't know about Refresh, you're prepared for anything. You're already stalemated. You're sitting down bottom alt mid waiting. And so good awareness from FaZe. They just dart into that B-bomb site. Of course, Rain on pistols, nothing new. Can always expect a good game out of him. And I think FaZe need it right now, right? We certainly need Inferno to be locked into this series at bare minimum. No easy rides.
Oh, well, we got some nades for a potential, little bombardment to open this. One of them dropped down middle. Nothing to write home about. No damage done. You got smokes as well. You know, it's a bit of a classic. Just trying to slow down this T side with those smokes, right? The longer you can hold on to them, the better. And Heroic have actually, full gambled this as well, keeping all 5 over here towards A. The thing that makes me a little bit worried about that is that, with no util going down Banana, with nothing really being shown there, I think FaZe are just going to take this real estate and start to move in, and that's exactly what they're doing, right? They've realized, no one's throwing anything at us. There were nades down middle, nothing at B. That's already a little sus, if you ask me. And so they move into an empty site.
It's the Blame F second round, Harry. It's yeah, fine. All right, we went for a gamble. It didn't work. Let's keep all our guns. But that is the key. You've got to keep as many as you can. You get back-to-back force buys, essentially. And you know Olaf knows that as well. He's holding around in middle. Heroic need these guns. And FaZe know that better than anyone. Fighting, and Broky's taken Tessez immediately. This is how it starts to fall apart, because they never knew how close Olaf was. Olaf moving into middle. Broky still patient in alt mid, and even Rain wrapping spawn with the Mac 10. But it seems like FaZe may give a little bit of respect over to Heroic. They know that there's not, much reason to give over a gun. You don't want to arm your opponents for that follow-up round when you know Heroic are coming in with double force buys. And so FaZe will give them a bit of respect. A 5-on-4, they close the round with ease. And B is already looking like the game plan. Couple of quick hits.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you kind of already drew attention to it, but it is like a very, you know, like blame F standard for those forced buy rounds, just taking that gamble. And I wonder if we're going to see them do something similar like that again. You've still got a bit of util as well. Still got that nade over on Shush, right, for some early damage. Stoun's picked one up now as well. So, you know, what can the nade stack accomplish? This time it's 4 over towards B early, and they leave Shush over here at the A side of the map alone. And, you know, this is like a similar vein to that last round. They still have a bit of a gamble in this very heavy B presence, and they've got Shush selling that there's a presence over here towards A. Now you've seen, you know, 3 aggressing over towards top banana. That might be the alarm bells ringing. Oh, boys, they've stacked B. Well, they actually haven't. As mentioned, they left Shush over here at A, and the rotation of refresh has already arrived. So there's a double hold here with a third man in Stoun now moving over with that Galil as well.
Yeah, they found Shush. They've seen him in the pit. No smoke for the Molotov. Rain runs him down, and with the Moto smoke, Heroic are cut out of the round. I love that re-aggression for Heroic, right? We're at a point in Counter-Strike where, you know, if you're flashing over top B on Inferno and re-aggressing for car control, you're not going to catch any teams by surprise. There's often going to be anti-flash players. There's going to be double setups. But the way that Heroic do it there is they wait till FaZe molly the corner, then they flash, they smoke the Molotov, and they pop in the face of FaZe, taking down Karrigan. Not set up yet, anti-flash, not set up yet, ready. And so Heroic grab a gun, and it looks like they're going to be able to save it as well. But only a Galil coming into their first gun round. FaZe, I mean, quick reactions so far, right? Like every time they've spotted heavy numbers of Heroic, they've recommitted into the other bomb site very quickly. So already things are looking pretty fluid. Stoun gets away with his gun, and now FaZe 3-0 up. First rifle round here for the Danes.
Yeah, you know, I mean, something that the guys on the desk kind of brought up is just that, you know, like with this FaZe squad, the whole conversation throughout the online era was always, don't worry, we're going to do our best work when we get to LAN. And it doesn't really feel like we've seen the best foot forward out of FaZe throughout any of their appearances. And, you know, I think in a way, right, like even, oh, that's a nice opener from Cadian. But I was going to say, like, you know, when we kind of take a look at Heroic here and we say that this could be one of their worst finishes if they were to get eliminated, I have more faith in this squad's ability to bounce back, right? We haven't even seen FaZe bounce the first time yet. So here's a little B play. Cadian's already over here, and through the smoke, he's taken out another. That is brutal. This AWP, so punishing.
They want more.
And I mean, at this point for FaZe, mate, it's a done deal, isn't it? 1 on 5 for Brokey. And as good as this guy's been, I don't have faith in the ability for the old 1v5 Galil. But hey, Refresh has done it.
Stop giving us as good as he's been on the 1v5 Galil, Harry. You're going to curse him.
Yeah. Nah, this is
actually given us.
Last time,
this is a liquid round.
That's what I was. With Refresh last time, I did say, right, I went all in on. So Heroic, they've got this. There's no way Brokey can win it. He's done.
Physically impossible.
He's done. This one's undoable, isn't it, Brokester?
Yeah, he had a sick game yesterday against Big, unfortunately falling in a grueling overtime affair. 39 kills. Maybe if he got 40, he would have won. It's good to have goals. Brokey, how many can he find? Even damage control is nice here. A couple of kills on the way out, but no, keeping it clean is Heroic. And that's a lovely little round out of Cadian as well, right? The quick pick down ult instantly reroutes to B. It is CT Inferno. You're going to keep that AWP mobile. You're going to keep your opponents guessing. FaZe trying to avoid the AWP. And what do? They walk right into it.
Yeah, you know, that was the little bonus round attempt out of FaZe, right? So they're still going to be coming in with rifles here, a chance to come in with a 4th and, you know, try to get a bit more respect out of the Heroic squad. Cadian already trying to pop off with the AWP again. Slow over towards top mid out of FaZe. They've also had to concede banana control because of this deep smoke and the exchange of utility there. So, you know, Heroic have won the fight for this side of the map for now. And they peel Tessez away from B as a result, right? They've set up Cadian here with that AWP. He's ready to take it over from A. swaps places with Tessez, and now he's able to hold this long angle on the AWP. Stound's actually working the banana control and gets that deep control down banana.
Called him back. Oh no, that's awkward. There's no smoke for the Molotov. Ah, he's trapped in the corner. Stound gets out. No one's punishing. FaZe just molly their flank before they commit into the A site, and it's confirmed by Heroic. They know what's going on.
Yeah, they know what's happening. Shush. Oh, and Tessez with the spray. Oh no, FaZe. They were grouping for the long hit, and Tessez has ruined it all. Look at it.
Yeah, close up.
Extreme close up, baby. Look at it. That's the face that's just torn the round away.
That's one way to do it, yeah. Again, we just talked about FaZe's very quick reactions. It's not like they even had the info down B. If they just turned around, they would have had a free frag right in banana. That's getting roasted. And Tessez mauls them on long. And now that's FaZe's money broke, right? They may have kept their anti-ecos clean, but you lose your bonus, you lose your first gun, and here's where you find yourself. Just Eagles. Back to Apps. Just looking for the ult peak, and he's got a first. Does he cut his losses? Or, well, take what he can get out for free alive. Cadian, same. A nice flick to the...
Bro, he's looking very quick, isn't he? Yeah. You played versus him in the DM the other day, Hugo. How was it? Is he fast?
He was nuts. He was nuts, yeah.
Oh. Well, look, once again, mate, he's so nimble, is Cadian. Now holding from the long side, playing this little doubled up spot with refresh. So as Cadian shoots, you know, you might feel tempted to try and get out into top mid if he misses the shot. Yeah, it's not so free. And they're going to look for answers elsewhere on the side of FaZe. Reality kind of setting in that this round, you know, just about trying to get away with any sort of damage now. Olafmeister's Deagle. Is it ready for Tessez up on top of the cart? No. And so there's Heroic tying this up at 3-3, right? The rifles come out, the AWP on Cadian right away, and they've found 3 in a row since that point. He's kind of grinding to a bit of a halt after their success in the pistol and the conversions.
Yeah, they did see Stound down bottom B there, so they must know what he's up to at this point, right? Maybe they heard the molly tick last time, and now they've seen him down bottom B on an anti-eco, so it's setting, you know, Heroic up for quick flanks. It's a nice bait and switch with Tessez and Stound, but if FaZe are going for these heavy A commits early in the round, Stound can fast flank middle. It's risky, but with risk comes reward. Talking of which, the loss bonus accumulated for FaZe. Still no AWP for Brokey, but it is T-side Inferno. It's not the bread and butter of an AWPer. Brokey lining up flashes for B. Cadian's here alone with the AWP. Keeping it fresh, so you got to give it to him. Every round, something new. Swapping sights every shot. Right now, just patrolling B, holding down banana. FaZe is setting up in the middle. Long smoke in. Good grenade and a little bit of damage. Ooh, careful. Those A1S's hard to pinpoint. Karrigan's on the other side. Smoke fading. Stound goes back, but he's still hanging around wide. FaZe, they are looking towards B still, right? Taking long, maybe trying to wrap this CT spawn, go for a mid to B. Stound's going to have to double back library side. He flashes the smoke, but he won't go through. Makes FaZe hesitate only for a moment. Stound now turns his attention.
Yeah, Karrigan's aware, though, when that flashed, you know, all it really did was give Stound away. Karrigan on the angle. And so now Cadian really is to hold down this B site alone. They are all around him, bro. He is so dead. Takes one to the grave with him. That's the extent of it for Cadian. Karrigan's going to double back into CT. It's not enough for him to have won the round with the openers he's got here. He's wanting to really send a message by hunting down these saving players. He knows that's going to be the call out of Heroic. And so Karrigan, maybe out for blood.
Yeah, Heroic super out of position there, right, from Stound. I don't think he realized how deep they already were, right? He was just walking out of library, maybe thinking he was there early enough. His flash could have stalled them, but FaZe, they had the game plan. They were set on it. And even Cadian, he, you know, the reason he turns there is he hears FaZe starting to run up banana, and he doesn't know who he's going to get contact from first, right? Is it that CT first? Is it the banana first? Just trying to find a kill. I think, honestly, if he stays ruins, he probably gets away with a lot more. Gets a kill, gets back, buys time, and that's the only way Heroic can win that round, with only a 1 for none. A 1 for 1, rather. It's going to be FaZe, keeping it clean. 4 up in both rounds and guns surviving. I wonder if Brokey's got that AWP now. Did they grab it for him?
Man, it's just so awkward. Like, you know, you understand, I think, where Katie's trying to come from there, and he just hears so many footsteps rushing him down CT, doesn't have a full picture as to how many bodies are there. And I think a part of him thought that, you know, fighting for Banana, fighting for a way out there might have been a better way to make his last stand, as it were. Still, might have lost the round. That AWP comes back out for Cadian. And, in a very big way, Olof on the receiving end of it to open up this round. Smokes aggro down Banana, and all this control taken for Heroic. This is a really nice start to this round. This is the response you want after, you know, having a round end in 2 frags in the previous. You've put a lot of pressure back on FaZe, and with Brokey tagged up, yeah, he's got the AWP, so if anyone was going to get tagged, you know, maybe you're happy it's him. Stown could get caught here, and this would be a lovely opener for Carrigan to find. He's doing it again. First kill found. Tess says having a hold on to B. Good for the first. Now tucking in and getting out of there. And the utility slowed FaZe down, giving time for Cadian to get set up. Bottom mid's taken over by Heroic. And they're holding for this retreat back down Banana. FaZe are screwed. They're pincered. They're trapped. And there's Heroic to lock it in.
Brokey got through the molly, man. He was 10 health. I don't know how he got through. Takes a kill with him, but yeah, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. And we were talking about Stan setting up deep B in some of these rounds to flank the A site. Well, we have the inverse right there. Refresh running down mid to backstab FaZe. And it's not like they were committing anyway, Harry. They didn't have a smoke for the B bomb site. They'd used them all. And so even after this entry from Carrigan, they couldn't commit with it. Lovely round out of Heroic, and yeah, trading back and forth right now. It's a good sign. Carrigan's gone for the hero gun. Otherwise, just Eagles. And Shush, he gets optimistic. It's going to get punished by that one rifle. Now a second to be retrieved in middle. Unless someone can get it out. Probably not going to look to do so. It's such a precarious position. Refresh walking his own smoking apps, and he does spot Olof eventually. The view model maybe giving it up for a moment. Cadian, no fear, fighting middle, has actually grabbed that gun, but the grenade from his teammate, combined with the dink from Rain, that is not what you wanted to happen. Oh
no. Okay, this could get out of hand. This could get weird now. Refresh. They've left him alone in this A bomb site. Well, look at him. He's getting surrounded. He's getting wrapped. They're out in top middle. They're over in the apartments. He's called for a rotation out of Tesses, and so Tesses will be over towards Library to offer a bit of a helping hand. You've still got smokes on Rain and Brokey. You could look to get rid of this Moto position, and Tessus has had to push ahead of that. Now the bomb spotted over in the apartments. That's going to be the rotate out of Stown. Refresh and Tessus trying to hold on, and now just Brokey left to beat. He's looking to get that bomb first as he tries to approach this 1v2. This guy's a good clutcher. Don't want to count him out of this one just yet. But as he's getting wrapped in through top middle, he's on a timer. Not that he knows it. Brokey, blinder of a shot hit to open. But Stown wrapping all the way on this journey up through middle. Brokey seems aware, and he was feeling it. Still, Stown is good to deliver in that clutch. But that was a little sign of things to come potentially out of someone like Brokey.
Yeah, first proper AWP round, right? Like he's had it before, but he's not really been in a position to do anything. Nice try. And you know, we've had as much as everyone wants to get these like multi-kill mode downs, like we saw Tessus on long the other round. He does such a great play in this one. It's Inferno CT side. He's just buying time. He gets one behind the smoke, hides back boxes on the site, and just waits for Stown to get set up. And that stalling is everything, because you saw the timer in Brokey's head. He didn't know Stown could be so close. This time the nades for Heroic are a little less friendly fire. Finding Twist right down B. 5-on-4 in FaZe with absolutely no B control, so Heroic pull back out of this triple setup. In fact, almost fully rotate. I imagine someone will stick around, but they might not need to. FaZe again looking for one of these early commits. 120 on the clock, and they're running up short.
Yeah, now Carrigan has been very consistent and good at getting these openers, and oftentimes, you know, he's been that driving force to get FaZe into these rounds. Let's see if he can do it again. Once more, Carrigan will don that opening kill for the FaZe squad, trying to break apart the A-hold. Shush is still here, still in the site, and still a problem. Rain raided after one, but Brokey's come through, and Shush is knocked out from underneath him. Carrigan now dropping into the pit, and with Tessa scoped up, there's Brokey to nail the shot. It's down, left in another clutch, but this time it's not the comfort of a 1v1. He needs to come in big. Up against this double hold of Karrigan and Brokey. It's a tag, but he can't finish the job. Oh, it's getting close. That nade could do it. Oh, it's Karrigan just staying alive, and for Stown, time's running out. Karrigan brushed aside. He's still trying to give this a go. He still wants to make it happen, but time is the problem. Smoke on the bomb, and he's a dead man. It's FaZe coming in with a 5th. Karrigan once again nailing those openers, and Brokey helping to push it over the line. That's kind of been the recipe thus far for FaZe in a lot of these rounds, right? Karrigan's the guy to crack it open. Brokey's the man to see it through.
Yeah, Smoke not quite on the bomb there. I think he probably would have sticked it if that landed better, but just bounced a bit too far on the A site. Nice try. And yeah, I mean, Karrigan has to swing there, right? He's already been wallbanged by the AWP. You don't want to play with fire and let that happen again. 5-5. And man, this is so back and forth. This is certainly an exciting game. Right? Everything on the line, as said earlier, elimination for 2 top 10 teams. No one wants to be that boy. No one wants to be going home day 2 of the final event of the year. Rain up in apps. Shush up close. Mac10 v A1S, and he's looking the wrong way. Freebie, Shush is going to be able to get out as well if he wants. Don't nade your teammate. I know Heroic have an affinity to do that. Instead, Refresh grabs another kill for Heroic. Karrigan has gotten past them. He's got a great little spot, a bubble of air in this A bomb site, and then Knife Out running back. Refresh doesn't realize. Does Karrigan, now he's realized. Almost pulls the molly. Can't make up his damn mind.
Yeah, he's freaking out a bit now. He's smollied off his teammates at short by mistake. Nice Twist is like, bro, you're not making it easy for me. Canadian just spotted Brokey, but, you know, timing's a bit of a menace there in that one. Brokey is gone with the wind, and Shush still over in the apartments. They might try and figure out how they could flush this kill out, right? You've also got Stown wrapping long. This is like a series of timings, and it's all down to who catches them, who hits them. Brokey, missed shot. Karrigan has at least mopped up this long flank from Stown on that B rotation. And Circadian and Shush are going to have to group up over on the short side, approach this in the 2v2.
Yeah, walking silent, both players. AWP to make first contact. It's a dangerous one. Karrigan might see the barrel, but no, just instant headshot. Shush 1v2. He's got a bit of info, but Karrigan is feeling it.
Bro,
today.
He's having such a game. You occasionally get these out of Finn, man. You occasionally get these games out of Karrigan where it feels like he's in like that no-go zone in his brain where he's feeling it. And he's not just going to lead you to victory in terms of the calls. He's going to do it by presenting those opening kills, by creating that space. And he's doing it time and time again. That timing that was hit up the short side is such a good example of a Karrigan timing when he's feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, great round from him. It's almost Cadian's spot down banana that wins the round for Heroic, right? Because of that info, you know, the whole time FaZe are waiting in the A site. They're waiting for the apps player. Where the hell is Shush gone? Why is he not peeking us? And that's because Shush is waiting for Brokey, who just got spotted leaving B. Cadian made that call. Shush was very patient, but luckily bailed out by the in-game leader from FaZe. 6-5, and finally Heroic are broke. It felt like Heroic were the ones taking the mantle, holding on to this game. But FaZe have slipped the net. And again, we're looking at gamble stacks in rounds like these. It's no surprise on Inferno. Heroic are leading 3B. It's not a round that they should be winning ever. Barely forced in. Couple of deagles, couple of flashes. And while they are peeling back towards that A site, shouldn't matter. Just finds a kill on short. Throw that gun out. That gets heard, but Refresh, he's not going to get through. Twist is waiting on the other side, and as the smoke fades, FaZe set up on long. Chill, chill.
There's literally a wall there, but sure, bud. And now he's leading the charge again. Look at him, mate. He's got the bomb. He wants the kills. Karrigan wants to do it all. I'll lead. I'll plant. I'll open. Here he is, back of the site. Still one man to find, Tess says, but they should check for him, right? There should be no way this goes unaccounted for. And there's Karrigan with the swing. Makes it pretty. Little 180, little whoop. And this is 7 on the board for FaZe.
Definitely feeling like a 3-mapper, right? Like you would, off the maps alone, off of the comfort picks. The handshake that is Mirage at the end of the series. Heroic aren't playing no games on Ancient. You don't want your tournament lifeline to come down to a newer map. Right now, FaZe are looking to run away with their pick. One AK saved. Now, see, Refresh heard them throw the gun on the roof. I don't even know if it stayed up there. It might have fallen.
It sounded like it fell.
But either way, you can, like, as long as you know it's there, you can just jump E it, no problem. So, yeah, even though Refresh died on long, he got the info, called the gun, just saves. But FaZe aren't phased by that information. 7-5. And a rebuy coming in. AWP will be allowed, thanks to that save especially, because Shush has a wealth of cash. And you definitely want to arm Cadian with some of the shots we've been seeing him go for. Heroic, first, a quick pause.
Yeah, you know, justifiably so, I think, right? Because if you kind of remember, the ebbs and flows of this game was that it was the strong start out of FaZe. They find themselves a pistol, they get those conversions. Then the AWP comes out right away for KD, and that was where the success started on the Heroic side of things, right? They start to grind this back out, start to look good, start to move into the lead. Well, then that's where karrigan kind of doubles down. He starts to take matters into his own hands. He's been hitting a lot of these real good timings. One of the other things I always think when you look at someone like a karrigan, right, is that when he is hitting these timings, when he is finding these openers, I feel like it only makes him that much more deadly in terms of the cooling. Like, if he personally is able to slip the net so many times and get through the tiny holes in your defense, well, then it shows that he's got a good read, a good handle on what you're doing in this map.
Especially if you look at that from the other side. It's like if an in-game leader is having a bad game individually and they can't hit the shots, they're getting in their head, they're doubting themselves, they're thinking more about the fights they're taking and not about the big picture. Yeah, the attention for karrigan is going to be way easier when you know you can't miss. And he's hitting all right. Cadian's AWP back on short side for a change.
Yeah, you know, if you wanted like your leader, your IGL on the other side in Cadian to try and pick this up and offer some sort of response in that regard, arming him with this AWP is so important, right? We saw the impact that had early on. And so it is good to see him donning it again, this time over towards the short side. And he might be in the position now to get to put that to use. He's going to be down in the pit as this little A play comes in.
Smoke long side, and there's only 2 here on A, so pressure is on. Spam through the smoke from that AK. Careful, Olof just gets out of dodge. Cadian is going to at least catch Rain jumping out, but he won't commit. He'll jump back himself to the site. Here come FaZe, no dilly-dallying, no waiting around. While karrigan is still up B, it's not like he has any util left to sell this fake. He's going to have to cut rotations, and Olof runs through the smoke to find a 1-for-1. Not bad, as the apps pop comes in. karrigan's too far. Cadian's looking to shut down the round, and Brokey alone with a missed shot. That was everything. Maybe he could double back to B. You've got just enough time, but again, no utility to really get it done. Forget nades, you need frags, and you need them now.
Yeah, Refresh and Cadian are going to fight tooth and nail in the speed is dirty.
Nice.
It's going to do a lot of damage, and Cadian's Deagle is armed for the job. Just Brokey left to find. Time's running out as well, and Cadian's trying to slip nets, but he can't get past Brokey. Now there's a chance. 1v2. Does have an AWP at his feet as well. The AK was out of ammo. He's going to get away. He gets out. Brokey, a chance at the clutch, and this is not a guy you want to give chances to. They tap on the bomb to bait a peek, and Brokey's nailed the shot. Oh, he's going back in for more. Stown was able to beat him last time around, but is this finally a different story for Brokey? Oh, he's playing the long game. He is not looking to fight you, Stown, not after last time. Tap on the bomb. Brokey has been baited out, has been baited in for the swing, but still alive, and even though he goes down, is there time? It's going to be real close. Has Stown done it again? It's looking good for it, and yeah, it's a heroic round. Once more, this guy, the anti-clutch to Brokey.
Yeah, back-to-back as well. That was a really nice try for Brokey, hitting the first shot, getting out, dodging death twice, and then calling the fake on the final tap. Like, damn, dude, couldn't have done more, but hit the shot, of course, and Stown's got to be feeling good, saving Heroic's bacon in what was initially a very favorable round for Heroic, right? 7-6, and FaZe's last buy before things get weird. Double AWP, in fact. That's a crazy investment. On the T side, no less, trying to match Cadian. Tess is ready with a flash down B. He comes down. Oh, karrigan clears it. No helmet, no face. Cadian does respond at least. But as far as a MAC-10 goes, that's good mileage to go 1-for-1 at the start. Cadian's going to have to drop all the util, pick up more off the body, and send his teammates back to that A site where FaZe have been consistently attacking. Seeing drop nades, maybe Brokey can set something up, although he's running back. We see Heroic in some of these rounds when they have spare money, drop, flashbangs and spawns so they can leave them for retakes on their rotations, because you can still buy up full util around that. It's just smokes you can't, double up on a lot. They retake Banana, though. Even if this is going to end A with 2 lurkers up middle, FaZe at least want to try and pull Heroic away from that A stack. And that might just be enough to do it.
Twist really wants to get rid of this AWP, man. Like, double up T-side, not really what you want. Not really what you want ever. Refresh does have support from Sjuush should he need it. He's going to hold the line for the first, and there's Sjuush swinging out. Yeah, some damage is dealt back the other way, but Olof is still churned up by Refresh on the turn. Brokey is given yet another chance in the clutch, and this time with no Stown to put a stop to him. Maybe he's going to look a little better for it. Cadian's running him down, though, and will get his sweet revenge from rounds gone by. It's Heroic tying the game up once more at 7-7. And man, this is... I'm starting to get a nice feeling about this series. I don't know about you. It feels like, we're getting Cadian's AWP really looking good. He had that explosive start. Since he's brought it back out, he's been a constant problem to FaZe. Stown's been great at making these clutches interesting, right? It's kind of nice to see Brokey put through his paces, because I feel like so often he gets away with them. And then obviously, the stellar stuff from Carrigan, as we've kind of alluded to a hell of a lot early on in this game.
Yeah, it's a little scary for Brokey, right? Like, there's not a lot he can do in some of these clutches. He's playing them as well as he can, but Heroic are not respecting him, right? They are just chasing him down in these 2-on-1s on the A site. It's reassuring to see that Heroic can shut that down. He can be an X factor for FaZe.
I think the fact that Brokey's looked this good T-side AWPing is impressive, though, right? The better side still to come. Cadian's going to open up this round with that AWP. And this is where FaZe just want to come in. Guns are blazing. They are running him down. Carrigan deep up long, but the flash is brutal out of Refresh. And Heroic are fully pulling rotates. They know what's up. They've got everybody here, and they're going to win out the half narrowly at 8-7. But still, this game's up in the air. Everyone's giving it all they've got, and no one wants to leave IEM Winter. The battle rages on in just a moment, so stick around, because we'll be back after the break.
Our goal here is to keep building on the LAN performances we have had lately. We really want to stay true to ourselves and play the way we want to, and not get stressed or crumble on LAN.
You took the op?
Yeah.
Okay.
How the f did you get there?
I don't know. Matrix.
I need a drop because I need a drop.
I was so
Brokey the Screecher, we love to hear it. LAN is back and better than ever, and so are FaZe, although they are down around, Harry. They're map picking the series. New Cup next, a bit of a scary territory for FaZe. They need to take Inferno if they want to long out this series, if they want to long out this tournament. Elimination on the line here at IEM Winter, and we go straight into the second half.
Yeah, right in, no messing around. Yeah, dude, you can hear Brokey's getting hyped. That was something that Yanko as well said, you know, over on the desk. He said Brokey is someone who will try to hype you up, even though he is, you know, in like these interviews, he's always kind of very calm, very cocky, like air about him, and we love him for that. Olof opening up the pistol round, and it's Shush on the receiving end. There's only one man over here towards B, right? And it looks like they maybe want to re-aggro into top middle on the side of FaZe. I wonder, if on the back you're not seeing anything, do you start to pull players over? Well, now you're going to have to. The illusion's been given up, mate. They are in the B site. However, you know, with FaZe going the man up early on because of Olof, they're content with playing retake here.
It's a good.
They can trade their way to a win. Carrigan up first. Jesus, this corner is scary, Carrigan. There's a lot of them on it. How are you going to get round this? How are you going to survive the journey? Tess says dropping out 3, and Katie in there fighting alongside him. It's all left to Olof. Not today, Heroic. They come in as swinging. That corner, something to be marveled at, man. How are you meant to get through that if you're FaZe?
That's a hornet's nest, right? Just bee stings coming at you left and right. You peek into everyone at once. The triple layer defense. Beautiful stuff. And yeah, Tessus with all the kills coming in as well. Certainly a nice feeling for Heroic. And similarities as well, right, with these two pistol rounds. Like Heroic, they spot a heavy A setup for FaZe, much as how FaZe did, seeing Heroic's ult mid pushing, and then they just run into B. Even though FaZe had a man up, doesn't mean much in the long run. Force buy coming in. Deagle scout. But only 2 rifles for Heroic, so these are certainly winnable rounds for FaZe. Olof Deagle sees the apps play, and he has the smoke to buy time. Had some quieter players on the FaZe side. Twists and Rain. This would be a great round for 2 incredibly strong Deagle players to come alive. Heroic fully grouped, at least getting some respect in this second round. No one getting info on B. FaZe don't know. Could be 5 on either site right now. And the re-smokes come in at the minute mark on both sides of the map. Even Brokey rotating B. Got to make gambles, but they're not always going to work your way.
Yeah, and the scout on the short side, mate, like this is a pretty rough spot for it. I'll be impressed if Carrigan can get away with much here. He spots the first, and at this point, right, you kind of have built a pretty clear picture of where Heroic are at, right? You spotted a guy in Boiler and a couple over in the top of middle at the same time. Olof, this could be something. There's one. We'll get traded on the back of it. Carrigan, anything from the scout would be great. And there's the first. Shush leaping in. It trades that out, but they've kept it in this 3-on... nice. In the 3-on-2. It will just be the save.
Yeah, that will decide it. You could feel Carrigan maybe hitting the headshot mid-air of Shush, but without it, and with only 2 players on 8, FaZe are locked out of this round, and they're not really saving much either. So double digits for Heroic. It's starting to leap out of control for FaZe. But yeah, of course, yet to see gun rounds, yet to see Brokey CTA WP. You know, you obviously saw him pull it up as much as he could in that first half to varying levels of success. Good openers. Couldn't clutch them out, though. And so this is where, like, yeah, you really are going to be leaning on people like Brokey when you get into these gun rounds sooner rather than later.
And man, like, Heroic are just looking really dialed in. Like, that's the thing, you know, pound for pound in terms of how the individuals are actually doing it, it's looking so much better on the Heroic side. Like, whenever we've had these victories come through for FaZe, really, it's been like a 2-man job thus far, right? It's been either Brokey or Carrigan or a combination of the 2. You know, both Twists and Rain shockingly quiet right now. I think one of these guys could afford to have a bit of a quiet time, but you can't have both falling on dead ears, right? You really need to get some more mileage out of at least one of these gents. And, you know, like Heroic, they might have kind of copped that El to Godsent, but, mate, that's a team that is on a rise. They are, like, on that upwards trajectory, and they're a bit of a dark horse. I think a lot of people are going to underestimate just how good and how much effort this team's been putting in. you kind of understand it. And I think it's lit a fire under Heroic. FaZe, not seeing that just yet. Stown doubles up over towards B, and this is looking as good as done. 11 on the board for Heroic, should be locked in.
Yeah, going back to that Godsend win as well, it's like, you know, you always hear players use the caveat of like, oh, we play our own game, we don't play to the level, or not to the level, we don't play to not lose, we don't, you know, to focus too much on what
you're not going to anti-strat the underdog.
Exactly, especially when you're a team like Heroic and what you've accomplished and, you know, the grand finals you've been in and the trophies you've picked up. And then you think about Godsend, yeah, as good as they've like been, as much as they've been on the rise, it's not like Heroic are probably going into that game heavy anti-stratting. They're just saying, yeah, we can win it on merit alone.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Barrage, we're comfortable.
I mean, if anything, you lean more into your own, like, usual game plan, right? Because you just go, yeah, let's just do what we always do, boys. Let's get in here. And that's only going to make it better for a team like Godsend who do put all this effort in, to have anti-stratted you, to have built up a pool of their own as to how they want to call against you.
On the same wavelength, you know, you're a #1 Taco fan anyway, but, you know, respect to Godsend. They've obviously already qualified to Katowice play-ins. That's awesome for next year, and this has been a team that has been, you know, really grinding out in all of 2021 and to great success. And yeah, I think it's admirable. We saw what that meant to Taco the other day, qualifying for the Pro League conference. You know, a very emotional guy, and huge respect to him. Can't not love Taco. So yeah, I can't wait to see how Godsend...
This has been a hell of a monologue, Hugo. Is Taco slipping you some money under the table?
Well, I couldn't
shout out Godsend with you during that FaZe game. We need to get some more boys on side. Well,
don't pretend you're not being paid off, Harry. I've seen your Twitter.
Here's the buyback in for FaZe. Right, we got the AWP in Brokey's hands.
This is it. Do or die, right? You don't want this to steamroll out of control. If you lose this, you're going down 13-7 before you next get guns. And it's not like this buy is even that pretty already. Just smokes left up.
And the defense spread very, very thin. It's bottom of the board Rain having to solo hold this B site. Now, that smoke, I mean, like, it's there, but, you know, like, it's not in the right place. There is a huge gap in that. And Tesses is hiding in it. He's trying to use it to his advantage. Rain's good for the first, and Carrigan helps out with a double. Get into that B site just in time, and he's not content with just 2. He wants to take a third, runs through the smoke. Stown's left in this one all alone, and he won't like what he sees in CT. A boost over the top of the smoke, a possibility to try and deny this plant, and I love what they do there, right? They throw the boost up real early, but they don't actually, like, fully commit yet to the boost. Yeah. Brokey's able to leap up after a little bit of time has passed and peek over that smoke. Stown was never ready for it, so... yeah, that's the answer for FaZe. The guns come out. They needed that round. Great rotation out of Carrigan, just in the nick of time. Gets over towards B, goes on to take 3 out, and suddenly, like, he set up FaZe for the win.
Yeah, like I said, a must-win round for FaZe. Now this game has got legs on it still. Orbs are out. Plenty here. Cadian is moving up. Oh, we might have this head-to-head right now. He's going to go for the jump or into apartments. You often see players jump in front of this long AWP angle. Oh, double nade? Oh, that's beautiful. It doesn't do that much damage, but it's still free for FaZe. Tagging up both Refresh and Cadian. Silent jump doesn't really do much at this point, does it? They're ready. Cadian looks for the boiler shot, but Twist is already backed up to the bomb site. Brokey's AWP is still long. And a methodical mid-take for Heroic, but luckily they've been giving it all away anyway. Rain's still solo B with no grenades as Carrigan is pulled over. He swaps with Brokey.
Oh, and Brokey looks like he wants to get set up here. I think if it weren't for those flashes, he was looking to take a peek down Banana. He was actually moving in towards the car. If he did that, you would have had the info that Banana's clear right now, and you might have grouped a little heavier over here towards A. It's only 3-4 FaZe. Rain's just jump peeked the half wall, so maybe that rotate's going to come through now, but Carrigan will have to hold the line again. It's 1.5, I guess. Tess says down to 1 HP in the process. Softening them up, and now Twist and Olaf have got to finish what Carrigan started. There's Olaf with the first. Twist, if there ever was a time, he's in at Graveyard, he's trapped, they've got him stuck here, and he's fighting for his life. Twist's on for the double. Finally gives us something, and so it's Cadian versus Brokey in the 1v1.
Brokey swapped out the AWP, he wants the rifle, he wants to get up in the face of Cadian. Bomb's planted, doesn't know what side he's coming from. Molly down, gives him time to set up on short, and now he's got the info. AKV, the AWPers, both trading out their primary weapons, and who will hit the headshot first? It's Brokey climbing up top the box. Lovely removal of X-Ray there. Could see the panic setting in. Cadian has no idea. He's being climbed up. And it's going to be Brokey keeping FaZe in this game yet again.
Yeah, it really is, you know, a thing of beauty how, like, even now, this CT side is like a very similar ebb and flow to the first half. Karrigan to open the round, Brokey to close it. It's a tried and tested classic at this point in time. It was nice to see Twist as well not just crumble under the pressure there. He's very much the guy who even made that doable, right? Even made that a possible round for FaZe. A double up from Graveyard. You could tell he was feeling uncomfortable as well. It didn't look as clean on the first attempt in, I think it was Refresh over in the apartments. I think maybe, you know, the pressure of being kind of quiet, getting a twist somewhat, but going on to double up like that, sometimes it is just one round, right? You have your moment. You win the round, you have the chance to win, and that can reinvigorate you a bit, and I hope it does for Twist. Because with how this is shaping up, I hope we can get all three out of it.
Yeah. Down but not out. And sneaking back into position as Heroic's money starts to dwindle. They're still going to buy up. 3 rifles is always enough of an incentive, and make it 4 with no util on Stown. Brokey's AWP starting 8. And Banana take here for Heroic. They wait out the early util. Brokey's going to go for the deep peek. But by this point, Heroic have already run up Banana with 3. One play a little late. Luckily, Shush doesn't get caught. Oh, almost the headshot. Kenyon gets blocked in by his teammates, and with the Molotov, they push back forward. Nice shot out of Karrigan as he sees Tessa's FaZe through the smoke. 2 kills for FaZe, and they just back up. Have Banana. We'll have the round.
Yeah, there's so much time left, you know, and you're going to try and look for a way out of this, but it's a real ugly start. There is no denying it. That Bomb trying to rejoin the rest of the guys over here. But, mate, if you're going away, you're going into an even odds affair, a 3-on-3. And you don't even have smokes. You've only got flashes to try and get these openers. You can't cut any of these sight lines off. And get the AWP off the angle with the flashes. That is exactly what they wanted to do. Considering you didn't have the smoke for that, you've made the best out of a bad situation. However, there's a reason it was a bad situation, and that's because, well, it was a bad situation, wasn't it? Brokey swings out from long and locks in the round. So FaZe are grinding their way back into this one. Clearly the threat of elimination is firing up the FaZe squad.
As it should. Another double for Twists as well on the long side, so keeping it clean. And yeah, FaZe building CT side of money as well. Always a nice bonus. That was a risky buy for Heroic. They knew they were getting themselves into, right, with limited util and only a few rifles, so they're finally going to have to dig deep, take an eek. P250's running a bolt mid. Could just go for a quick apps pop right. Smoke, a couple of flashes. He's going down and Brokey peeking through them as Olof gets the bomb for free. Easy spray, Deagle out and trying to close, he does. 4 kills for Olof Meister, and that's got to feel just a little bit nice. 11-11, and this game has tightened up, right? We were at a point at 11-7 where it looked like if Heroic just win one more gun round, they might just be able to shut FaZe out of this map, but even Stevens now, anyone's game.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
Nice.
It really is. Like, you know, I think you can't ever help but, like, get behind Olof, you know, because I think this guy's been brought in and out of retirement so much. Look at this. Hang on a moment. I'm going to retire that thought for a second because I looked like it was going to be a little fast top mid pop out of Heroic, but instead,
to a dome.
Yeah. Rain, all right, lad. Trying to get a little bit cheeky with it. And, you know, bottom of the board, if there ever was a... Oh!
Arrogant!
Rain just looks over like, oh, he was there. Well, cheers. Cheers, Finn.
That was nuclear.
Unreal.
Just pre-fired on the corner. Land peak. Finn Landerson. So, with Rain conceding Banana, going back to car safely, it's allowed for Karrigan to set up on the A site. has been the object of Heroic's desires as much as it was for FaZe, but will that change as the bomb goes back to B? Cadian is so far up. Karrigan's clearing mid like it's already a B play, and I mean, he's not completely wrong. He caught them down bottom mid with knives out. Refresh covers his teammate, and Cadian, they have no idea. Olaf spots him though. Oh, he pulls his nades out. Tessus jumps on from top and falls into the pit. Wallbang will connect, but not for much damage. 2-on-3. Sjuush makes his way into the site and gets the plant. There's still hope for Heroic.
They're still with a chance. Right, Tessa's down in the pit. They've got this crossfire set up between site and pit. So for the short side, you know, this is a nice crossfire to have if Tessa's can stay alive. But this peek from the apartments, he flicks back up to it and locks in the kill to Rain. Oh, and now he doesn't have to peek. This is the problem, right, with this crossfire at this point. It's so awkward for Twists and Brokey. They know if they go any further forward, that's where Sjuush comes into play. That's where the second man was meant to step up. But instead, Twist has knocked them both out of the round. And that's more like it. It's 12 on the board for FaZe, and they are now the ones up in the lead.
Hey, you said it a few rounds ago. You said we need someone out of Twists and Rain to step up, and it has been the former, right? Twists has come in with double kill after double kill after double kill on this A side.
And it was all since that graveyard round as well, if you think about it, right?
Have your round, man. You wake up, remember what it's like. You taste blood, you taste victory. Awkward one for Olaf there. You know, it wasn't a telegraph play at all for Heroic, right? They were just contacting up A, rather, and the bomb was spotted down bottom mid, so it was far from a commitment, at least from what FaZe imagined. They still pick up the round. Oh, these grenades are brutal. Best nades of the game so far.
Look at all that fire, bro. Jeez, yeah, I can't say I blame them. It's looking like hell itself over at the top of Banana.
Oh, and like, you don't want to say a round's over before it's over.
Yeah,
if
right.
a round ever were over from the opening few seconds, this would be it. We have to have Sjuush and Refresh step up. We saw the difficulty of low health for Sjuush last round, getting cleared off of that crossfire. Cadian's going to get cleared as well. Down Banana, gone to Rain, who, you know, it's not like he's having a great game. Obviously, we've talked about that, but he's not a liability. He's not, on the CT side at least, he's not giving up kills. He's left solo B a lot. He's not dying. So, yeah, it's been absolutely fine for Rain in the second half. The supporting cast is there. Long setup. Karrigan's in the corner. They're going to jump check him. Forget the orb. Brokey gets dodged. He does still pick up Stan. They're running him down, and if only he shot the deeper player who was on 5 health.
Oh, this is weird now, because they're wrapping in through CT, and if they commit to the B play, I mean, look at Rain. He's all the way down Banana. They're dropping utility over towards B, but not committing to it. And they're actually splitting up somewhat. Tessa's being left to hold this B angle while Refresh. They're hoping to catch the rotations away, right? Dropping that smoke over at B, hoping that was going to shuffle these A players around. Well, it hasn't. FaZe have stood their ground, and Olaf drops the bomb with that kill there. Any more in the tank from Olaf Meister? No. Refresh holding on and lives to fight another day. It's another chance at a round for Heroic, a 1v1. It's Refresh versus Rain.
The high health saving Refresh so far. Can he long it out? Walking up short. That smoke is a window. Oh, jumping up on top of the balcony instead, and he can't even see above the smoke. So hard to hit that shot. And Rain's going to be able to clean it up. And this is what we talked about, man. Like, you know, not a liability at all on the CT side. Quiet game, but he steps up when it matters most, and we've seen the effect that that can have. He's got to get the defuse. He's looking for some nades to be dropped, but don't leave it too late.
And, you know, that could have been, like, his Twist's moment, right? Like, how Twist went on to get activated after winning that round on his own. Rain there, you know, preventing Refresh from coming in with a big old clutch. And it's, you know, it's kind of funny, considering how close that gets, because if you remember, heading into that round, you said, oh, well, if a round was ever over before it's even started, it's that one. Well, actually, it's one of the closest rounds Heroic have managed yet. And a lot of it comes off the back of, you know, Refresh, one of the only guys who wasn't scarred by that nade stack down Banana at the start of the round. Very impressive that he's able to get it so close.
You know, considering FaZe also had that double long setup as well, and Cadian jumps through the smoke on long to clear Karrigan, and because he jumps through the smoke, Brokey on a really tight angle never saw him go through. Brokey only gets one, and so this little crossfire that should be there to, you know, win the round essentially for FaZe against low health players essentially does nothing. So, yeah, luckily enough, saved by Rain. And this game is getting saved by FaZe. 13-11 from 11-7. That's 6 in a row for FaZe. But like you said, close rounds indeed, even when you don't believe in them. Now no op for Cadian, back to rifles, keeping it basic, and Broky's going to throw his right down middle. Flashed off, fires off, and so Heroic, that's a bit of info to work with. But you can never trust audio cues on this map, you can never trust that AWP. It moves so quickly, and so it shall, re-wrapping the short side.
Yeah, they want to try and fight for some semblance of this banana control, and they're coming through. Karrigan's able to get out. Wow. That is mental, man. Like, you know, it's not some crazy kill. Nothing really happened. It might, at least that's how it might look. But the fact that Karrigan survives there is huge in the big picture for FaZe. That could have been a steamroll from Heroic, right? Just spilling into B if that opener came in. Instead, Karrigan's given a second chance. Now, he doesn't do anything with that. And actually, Stown's gone on to double up. So it's just delayed gratification for Heroic. They do get into B. They do get that double they were looking for. And Stown wants even more than that. Wrapping into CT, getting aggressive with it. He's on for the hat trick. And so this is Heroic in with the response. It's a little B pop. You know, as far as it goes, it's nothing grandiose, it's nothing mental to wrap your head around, it's just a nice quick opener out of Stown to flood B.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of these gun rounds have come down to A hits for Heroic, and you can't blame them with some of the utility we've seen out of FaZe, but we had Brokey take an opening kill onto Tesses, I think it was, on A, and so Heroic just doubled down on their B hit. Even though they can't catch Karrigan initially, Stown smoke spams the CT spawn player. And Heroic just 2 quick kills into B, and that's a round on this map. Nothing that Olof can do about it but save the AWP, and he does get away with it right at the end. 13-12 though. Heroic wake up from their sleepy streak of 6 lost. Look at these entries. I don't know if he even saw Rain. Nope.
Yeah, and you know, I do think it's important to remember, like, if you're FaZe, you've had a bit of a history and time's gone by, matches getting away from you, right? And things that you should close out maybe falling apart. On the other side, Heroic have always been a team that's very, very good at, like, rolling with the punches. They might have a lot going on. They might have a lot of pressure riding on them. They might not be the favorites, but they're always good to make it interesting and to give it all they've got in spite of that. And I think if you're FaZe, you know you're not out of the woods just yet.
Oh, change up the B setup. Oh, pull away from the boost immediately. Go for the back sight boost instead.
Yeah, you can tell the kind of effect that this last round has had on FaZe. Like, so often they were fighting for banana, deep banana, and they were very, very keen to go back to that time and time again. Well, they've been a lot more passive from the get-go here. They don't want to give those early openers over. Heroic are no longer respecting those deep banana smokes. They're not respecting your banana utility. And so it's forced respect out of FaZe, and it's given a lot more map control to Heroic in the long run.
Yeah, this would be a nice round to just group up and do a scrim exec on B, right? Play it nice and safe, just trade your way in, but instead Heroic try and feign that with all the control they have in banana. They maybe expect FaZe to be triple set on this site. So Stown fakes it for a second, but 30 left of them, and Heroic set up on this A site instead. Brokey was already cheating back towards that B site anyway. Olof caught swapping nades, but he's at least going to get a preemptive smoke and gives him a bit of room. Refresh falls in, and Olof does recover the double. Bomb luckily falls into the pit, but it may never be recovered unless Cadian picks up the pieces, killing the AWP at least. Stown needs to grab that package. Olof defending it with his life and offering up kills. It's only Cadian, got to give it up, got to go home. And FaZe finding 14, maybe even the kill after time for Rain. That would be massive. Oh, I don't even know. No, he killed before the round ended. So at least lost bonus for Cadian.
Wow, that's like really merciful out of Rain.
Yeah, by a millisecond.
Don't worry, Cadian, I wouldn't do that to you. Here we go. We want to have a fair fight.
You can have your guns. It might not mean much though. And yeah, I think Heroic got in their own head there with like the idea of not going for the B pop. These A sites, like that was FaZe getting the 6-round streak, just constantly winning these A defense rounds with Twist and Olof anchoring really, really well. And the 1-round Heroic win is a B explosion with Stown getting a triple entry. And I think Heroic just got scared that FaZe would have like read into that and leaned heavy. Oh dear, that's awkward. tries to cross sides of middle, didn't know Tessus was wide, and there's always still hope, even with these broke buys for Heroic.
Man, they're really tempted in by the idea of getting this AWP, and Brostown's taking it to like new heights, really. You know, just trying to run out through the mid smoke, cut down, and now the B pop coming through once again. They're going to try and make this B play happen. Reyna's got to hold the line because they are coming through this smoke, whether he likes it or not. It's a little bit ugly, and so now there's guns retrieved. Everyone's armed. Oh, Twists with a response has tipped the scales back in favor of FaZe again. Now there's only 2 for FaZe Clan ready to retake this site. Will they wait? Will they have a moment of pause? No, they're coming through the CT smoke. And now it's only Shush, back of the site. Time's in his favor, but that's the only thing going his way. Twist takes his head off with the peak. FaZe Clan up to 15, up to map point on their map pick.
It is a Cinderella story for Twist. Like, the recovery arc this guy has got on in this map alone is unbelievable. He was absolutely a non-factor, silent in the first half, and even at the start of the second.
Him and Rain came into this half with 5 and 3 kills respectively. So the fact that now Twist is, you know, risen through the ranks and is up there alongside the likes of, you know, Karrigan, who had that incredible start. Broky's come into his own as the game's ticked on, and you can see they're getting hyped, they're getting loud about it.
Karrigan still had no fear. Like, he's just, you know, like you said, oh, will there be a moment of poise? Nope. He's just, the second the CT smoke phase, he's walking in, not letting Heroic establish post plants, not letting them get comfortable. And this has been a very uncomfortable T side for Heroic. They finally get into the B bomb site with the entry as well, but it comes at a cost. Smoke spam for Twist. Rain at least takes down one with him. That's enough.
I really feel like B has to be the answer, man, because when you look at, you know, who you have over towards it, I think Olaf has been doing a stellar job at locking down apartments especially, right? Time and time again, he's been good for multi-kills over on balcony, down in the pit. He's been a problem. Twist, as we say, that Cinderella story is starting to come alive, but bro, Karrigan's not giving you any respect, not giving you any roommate. You might never get to play your game because he's in your damn spawn already, rushing down mid, traded after 1, and suddenly Heroic, they're breathing a kind of collective sigh of relief. Cadian might be knocked out. He's leading from beyond the grave here.
Look, it's a gamble. FaZe have to make a call like this. They let everyone be, and Heroic have already worked this one out. They walk out of apartments. A very ballsy call, but luckily the situation did call for it. And now, as long as the bomb is, you know, careful about apartments, you never know what timings can be hit. Refresh comes back to bodyguard Shush, but as soon as it gets there, it should be a plant. And, like, FaZe are working this one out, right? They know it at this point, it's A, but, you know, what point do you call it off? I guess it comes down to fighting Stown. If you kill Stown, it's incentivized. If you die, well, then that's a different story. And so FaZe, maybe going to cut their losses. Get out of here. Keep your guns.
Yeah, they've still got ample chances to try get this one. I say ample. They got 2 to try get this one over the line. But, you know, I think this round does come with a bit of a caveat that, like, both Karrigan and Olaf throw themselves into gunfights early on, you know? And I can't imagine we're going to get that in the same fashion again, right? No mid-rush out of Karrigan.
I respect it. It's one way to close a map. Something that Heroic do a lot on CT side. Like, if they're feeling it, you'll see Refresh run down mid a lot, play towards bench.
So the only thing that makes me a little bit nervous, you know, we all know how punishing the CT economy can be. Well, at 15-13, it's the one time you don't want to be punished in that regard, right? Even looking now, like, you know, you save up, you're going to be throwing an investment in surely, but it does leave you in this very awkward position where if you lose this round, you're going up, you know, you're going into round number 30 with not too much to your name. And that's a potential path for Heroic to lock in the OT. And then, you know, then it's all up in the air because then the kind of not mind games of it, but like the psychology of it completely changes around, right? It's no longer FaZe feeling thrilled that they're about to get away with their map. No, it's Heroic building back into this, trying to tear away another one of these close matches.
Well, this is where FaZe don't want to think about failure, Harry. This is where they say, all right, this is our chance. If we want to win this game, we've got to win it right here, right now. Otherwise, Heroic could edge out an overtime, and at that point, it's anyone's map. AKs are out. Brokey keeps his AWP saved from the last. And this is it. Roki. Molly right down middle. No one taking early fights other than Karrigan, who gets flashed in and gets at least a little bit of a room. Down, spotted through the Molotov. And no one will commit to that. Bit of free damage. Styles back to spawn to find grenades. They left a bounty of utility. Were they just going for early fights in the hope that, like, okay, if they die, they can go back and grab those nades? We see something like, we see Simple do stuff like that on Nuke. He was dropping all his nades on T-Roof and going for AWP picks on Silo and looking for early fights. And then if he does die, well, all his grenades are there. You can still run your top exec.
Ricadian's like a utility dealer right now, like trench coat. Like,
what do you got?
What do you want, man? I got some smokes, flashes. Right, like this is okay. All right, what's the game plan then, right? So they do all this to juggle the util onto Cadian. And yeah, I mean, it looked like he wanted to flash them in for Banana, and then Stound's like, no, I have it actually. I've just walked up. They've let me in. That's fine. Heroic, they get this control. This is a nice little standard default, right? FaZe thus far haven't seen or heard anything. They really don't know what's happening in this round, and they might start to feel the pressure soon to go and seek that information.
Oh, this is weird because they've gone for the double new box setup, and we just saw this lurk smoke, this wall smoke get thrown into B. Brokey has to care CT. That's a call being made. Like, watch out. They could be walking in right now. We actually don't have the info. Care spawn Brokey, and so he won't actually go for the peek. He'll double back, feeling like it's a fake, and he's correct. 20 seconds. Here come Heroic.
Oh, he's just seen them. He's just seen them. Brokey smites Katie, and now they start to make their way in. Olofmeister up on the balcony, and Twist helping out. Nice. That's FaZe locking it in. No overtime today. You're not going to complete the comeback. They get that one over the line. Katie might try to throw in this big old grandiose fake, but Karrigan don't fall for it, and FaZe go 1-0 up.
with Carrigan and Cadian from FaZe and Heroic. Finn, I have to ask you, what's it like to officially be Batman of Counter-Strike?
Very strange, I must say. I was pretty surprised. I ended up read it in my when I opened it. So, I mean, it was fun in Blast, but it's have to be Batman on the server as well.
Cadian, are you jealous at all of this guy's alter ego?
He's always been good at creating a show inside, outside the server, and pleasure to meet him in another tournament. So yeah, nothing but respect.
Talking about Blast, tell me about the last time you guys met. Last time your two teams faced off against each other.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very tough game, right? I think we lost the first map 16-14. And then we had a huge lead on Nuke, but they played really good CT side on Nuke, and they kind of had a good read on us there. So we obviously went home and looked at the game, and I mean, it to be better this time. So yeah, it was a tough game, but it was a really close game as well.
Cadian?
Yeah, I agree. Tough game. Managed to pull it out in the end. I think that it's a new game now, new best of 3. The veto is also a little bit different in some aspects. Definitely going to be an interesting game. I think we won a lot of the 3v3 kind of scenarios last time. They actually got in some pretty decent situations, so we also watched the game and saw some places where we could improve. So yeah, I mean, I know it's the last tournament of FaZe this year, and Shus has already tweeted that he wants to send them on some early Christmas vacation, so I guess that's the plan.
All right, well, guys, final question then. I mean, you've pretty much covered some of it, but are you as prepared as possible for the team on the other side of the stage today?
Yeah, I mean, we changed the veto coming up to the game, so obviously they had prepared Inferno as well for the upcoming match in Blast, but this time I think we have a good read on what we want to do, and the veto is kind of the same, just different order, so I think whatever happens, if we go to third map, it's going to be a brawl for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. Well, guys, best of luck to both of you.
Thank you.
I'm blind. Side end.
Nice, guys.
Your channel.
Well, that was Paula catching up with the 2 IGLs before we got this matchup started. 2 IGLs that we did denote needing to step up in the statistics category. Kerrigan doing that, and, well, Cadian trying his best, but it's just simply not enough. Heroic do not find that finish line before FaZe. 16-13 final score here. Over on the other stream, Fnatic found some wind as well, beating Ents in a 16-11 fashion on the first map of that series, being overpassed. They got nukes next. Right out of the gate here, this one actually was pretty close, Yanko.
Yes, it was. I mean, it was close in terms of the scoreline, but also there were a lot of close rounds. Yeah. Really, I think it's pretty clear that it came down to the clutches, right? Some of those post-plan situations where FaZe won the majority of them, really. And Brocky was instrumental in some of those rounds in the first half, absolutely. In the second half, some of the other guys stepped up a little bit. We saw Twist here and there. Olaf playing that pit area had a couple of good rounds too. And yeah, I think that was just the difference maker in the end for FaZe Clan.
That and the transition into second half. I agree entirely. This game is won by clutches. I think Brokey for FaZe, despite not having the most kills, had the biggest impact. I think he had like 4 1vx situations at this A bomb site that you can see throughout these highlights. But really, the switch over to the second half was everything, because Olaf ended the T side on Inferno with, what, 6 kills? Twist had 4. On the CT side, Olaf goes 17-7. Twist goes 14-8. These guys shot up the scoreboard. They had huge impact on the CT side. Slow to get started. Kerrigan and Brokey carried him through most of the game, but yeah, everyone woke up in that second half, and that was the difference.
And then seeing how the ops kind of were played across both sides of the map, you know, switching from the CT side over there, we saw what
sometimes even a double op setup on the T side.
Sometimes, and that's exactly what we know Inferno for, right, Yanko?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Trace. That's the secret weapon.
That was actually funny, just watching Twist try and swap out that native. He was like, please get this gun out of my hands. I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Okay, so good steps here for FaZe. Again, an elimination on the line for both of these teams. So you've got to think back against the wall for a team like Heroic. This isn't a situation they probably thought they'd put themselves in, Yanko.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely didn't. But playing against a team like FaZe Clan, you could see Cadian. He knows like the last game at Blast was close. They were talking about the veto a little bit. Yes, it was switched up, mostly the order, right? I don't think the maps were a surprise as much. You could see Kerrigan saying like they had a game plan of how to approach it. They got shut down a little bit in some of those faster A takes that they tried to do, but I think the round were Kerrigan sneaks up short with a Mac 10 after 2 of his mates die on second mid and in apartments, and they managed to win that round. Yeah. That saved FaZe's half, because that was them buying, that was their last buy. If Heroic wins that round, they again get all the momentum, right? That really allowed them to get 7 rounds on T side.
Jason, really quickly, tell me what to expect with Nuke. Will the series end here? Will Heroic be going home?
There's a chance it ends here, obviously, but I think we're going to go to a third map. This map, Nuke, has been a Heroic victory the last 2 times they played. I think 16-13 and 16-11 at the last 2 events these 2 teams has meant. It's not easy to go up against a team where you've played them so closely on this very same map and beat them for a third time, especially Kerrigan. Mentioned, he's going to have something planned for this Nuke, so it's going to be tough, but I have Heroic. You got to trust Heroic's going to be able to take this one.
Yeah, would you agree with that, Yenko?
Yeah, I agree so, but one worrying thing can be that Rain is having like a super slow start to this tournament. Like, he's bottom 3 after that second map rated, and he's been playing well recently, so I expect him to pick it up. Yeah. If he gets hot now on Nuke, that could be a problem for Heroic.
Yeah, and it is just one map separating Heroic from, continuing down this path and playing with us further into the Intel Extreme Masters. Thank you so much, gentlemen. But before we go to a break, I want to tell everybody about the CSGO Hub Bingo. That's right, you can join CSGO Hub Premium today and get access to your 5 IEM Fall, or rather IEM Winter, it seems, bingo cards. Free users can claim one as well. We're going to go ahead and go to a break and figure out a couple typos, and then we'll be right back with the next map of the series.
Choose nades, choose a smoke, choose a flashbang. Choose team badges to support your favourite CSGO team. Choose an ESEA Premium membership. Choose routes you know bring in wins. Choose pro video tips. Choose the fan club wars. Choose behind the scenes content. Choose good grades. Choose guns you know you can shoot right. Choose bingo. Choose the equipment you know is going to get your team the win thanks to heat maps. Choose the CSGO Hub Premium, the complete package to help you and your squad achieve all your CSGO goals.
Someone's gone into Photoshop and taken all the logos off the jerseys, Heroic style. You're going to have 60 seconds to tell me who they are. So you two discuss it, you submit your final answers, and then we'll look at the answers.
Well, FaZe taking on Heroic in this second map. And I mean, the first one was a blinder already, right? Inferno, it always seems like it delivers. But now we have a little bit of nuke action. Whenever these two squads have gone head-to-head here, it has been Heroic coming in ahead, right? Coming up clutch and locking in the wins here on nuke. However, there's always been improvement, right? The games have only gotten closer as they've been played. And with FaZe looking hot to open up, the potential to unlock someone like Rain and get more mileage out of him, maybe this isn't such plain sailing for Heroic. Hugo, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, sure. I mean, FaZe played this map back at Blast. They look really, really good on it. They shredded Astralis. Other than that, yeah, it's a bit of a tenuous map at best for this roster. But like you said, current form looking good today. Karrigan's leading, probably reflecting with his individual performance as well. He was lights out on the T side of Inferno. So I'm willing to give FaZe the benefit of the doubt. I'm expecting a 3-mapper, but anything is possible here. Heroic, they've already had a bit of a shaky tournament, falling to Godsent on their opening game. And going out with a whimper here would be not the way they want to close the year after a pretty successful 2021. Getting ready for the A-pop, delaying it by a few seconds, and Karrigan spots that hut rush. Brokey behind the door, locking them out of the sight. The smoke even misses Main because he shuts the door on it. Twist has helped out, bomb is loose, Lurk outside to find something, but all the executions coming in for FaZe on top. Shush does kill Rain on the ramp flank, and maybe there's a chance to get weird here for Heroic.
Yeah, I do like what Shush has done here, right? Like, he immediately routes in towards ramp, but he's not committed to it. Instead, hoping that this would bait a lobby push out of FaZe. And so right now, he has a 1v1. It's actually not to Brokey, it's to Karrigan.
No, what?
And there's Shush with the frag. Brokey's forced out by the Molotov, and suddenly this is a 2-on-2. Olof could save the whole damn day right now. Shush shot up the back of the head, leaves it all on KD, and that bomb cut loose down in the A bomb site. He's going to have to go drop it in if he wants to win this. Now, Olaf's been left in the lobby. Brokey's going for a big wrap, looking like he wants to recommit up into heaven once contact is made, but it's never needed. Olaf locks in the round, and FaZe, they win the pistol. Brokey made a huge play there, man. I love what he did. He hangs around by the door, and as you say, not only does he get that opener, but he actually closes the door on the main smoke, blocking the smoke from ever reaching main, which left angles open for twists. And on top of that, it meant that Squeaky was smoked. You couldn't trade. You couldn't do anything. You lose an entire avenue of approach.
Even later when he goes roof, right, because he gets mollied off in lobby. When Olaf comes back in hut to get the kill, you're wondering why Shush still staring. It's because Brokey dropped off roof to make noise, so Shush was looking at end of lobby. That set Olaf up for the kill in the 2-on-2. Nice little bit of teamwork there for FaZe, and it's only going to get easier as Rain farms. Little eco kills, Glocks about, but not for long. Everyone wants their ecos. Got to get that HLTV rating some way, and 2-0 right now for FaZe. Not in the series, but in the map. That's the hope, that's the dream. But guns are coming out swiftly for Heroic.
Yeah, it's nice getting these little confidence boosters in for Rain. I think Janko did make that good point earlier where he said, like, he has had a kind of really troublesome start to this tournament, but prior to that, we've been having good performances out of this guy. Yeah. So if you do get him unlocked, if you do get him online, and you were able to, win out that last map with him being so quiet, it's only going to make you that much more terrifying. Here's the investment from Heroic, though. Bonus round for FaZe. An aggression from both the MP9s. Karrigan pushed the lobby and Rain's gone aggro outside. Nice. That's free. And an upgrade potentially there for him. They're going to try and reactivate elsewhere. They're looking for answers, but every time they've tried to push and prod an area of the map, I was going to say it's come up. It is still coming up in favor of FaZe, as tenuous as it's getting. And Heroic are down to 3. This was, as mentioned, the bonus round from FaZe. This was mainly like SMGs, Famuses. Yeah. And they're in a really good spot.
It's the SMGs that have dragged them into this position, right? Close outside and pushed to the hut. Found another. So FaZe just got to convert it now. Rain got out with the AK. So even better armed. Deep smokes outside. And luckily, no one in Garage to stop them. He won't take the AK. Karrigan just walks it. Now he can grab it on his retreat. And Heroic, even if they cross down lower, Brokey's already here. Gone down into the secret. Heaven info, and that's a danger with those wide smokes, right? You can't crouch underneath that one. You're going to get spotted. FaZe now confirmed. Brokey, he's got one and drops the bomb, but no more. Still good enough. There's a lobby lurker alive. Karrigan going to back up into him, and they got Shush trapped at least. He doesn't know there's a second man in position, and so Twist waits patiently for the kill to come to him, and they all do as FaZe find a third. Not a bad start to this map, winning their bonus round as well, getting out with all the goods.
And we might only be a couple rounds deeper right now. Rain sat up top of the board, 5-1. This is where you push F12, you get that screenshot, you get the proof, you go.
Before you fall off, get it quick.
That's what I do, at least.
Yeah.
It works every time. Heroic need answers very, very quickly. You know, you don't want FaZe to... Oh, they're going to try and vent drop, but Karrigan... He both literally and metaphorically closes the door, and there it is. Oh, Tess says, knocked out as well by Rain, and yeah, the attempt at the fast pop down towards the vent, it's not gone.
Oh, that was a dink.
Dink, bro. But Twist, he's got like an iron dome.
Built different.
He's got the diamond helmet on, bro. Look at him.
Karrigan called like, oh, they're vent diving. I'm blind. They probably made it. Olaf dropped lower. He's like, nope. No one's here, mate. You got 3, actually. They find that final kill eventually. A nice clean start for FaZe. I mean, this is a picture-perfect beginning. If you ever wanted a map to start strong, this is it, right? Like, you know, nice, confident pistol round, winning your bonus, getting upgrades, melting them on the eco rush outdoor. Like, this is a great start for FaZe. Let's see if they can keep it up. Guns out now for Heroic. They know what they're up against. They know that FaZe are bringing the heat, and they need to have a response now.
Yeah, they throw these outside smokes, right? I like this, like the first rifle, they tried to take this default. This time it's a lot more kind of, you know, full of direction from the get-go. It's the immediate cross out, and yeah, there's no accounting for that one. If your range just dome through the smoke, pretty brutal as far as it goes. Refresh has been able to get down secret, but this is all it is towards outside, right? They go, Refresh, we're gonna send you down lower. You're gonna just throw some chaos out there. You're gonna try and apply some pressure. And the rest of Heroic wait back in the lobby.
FaZe aren't convinced, mate. They're going back to gamble stack A.
Oh, my. And here's
that could be where it ends up.
It is a bit awkward, yeah, because, like, Refresh, he's hoping he can catch someone, you know, like, rotating down towards B or draw rotates, but instead,
no way.
FaZe have read this. That's the bomb. Karrigan dropping it. And even though he's traded after that, that's still a lot of info for FaZe to go off of. Now, if Heroic do decide to head into ramp, especially with Refresh already down lower, that could be their route to save this one. And that's looking like the decision. Brokey tucked in at hell, really got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, this is a round where you're already thinking about saving, right? Like, as you said, Refresh already down B, Heroic. I feel like Karrigan could have gotten out, right? He's obviously feeling it, but would have been nice to see him escape there and maintain that 4-on-4. Instead, he was very low, and Heroic just come hunting. Olaf, that's the round, pretty much said and done. They knew about the possibility, but they had no confirmation that Refresh had made it down. And so with Heroic regrouping and meeting on the ramp side, it's a round on this T side. About time. Still good money and guns kept for FaZe. That's why they poke their head in. But you may as well keep that cash while you got it.
Yeah, I really like that from Heroic as well. Like they, as we were kind of talking about in the beginning of this round, the first rifle, they try to take like a bit of a slower default. You know, they walk a guy outside while they're pressuring ramp, they're holding lobby. That time they throw the outside smokes and they get away with the round on the back of it with the B plant. Now what that's going to do is maybe make FaZe a little more worried about these outside smokes, and that only makes them more effective for Heroic to use later on, right? You kind of sell them on this idea that, yeah, we're going to use outside. When these smokes go down, there's going to be, you know, a reason for that. We're doing something with them.
They've also got a variety of outside executes, as do most good nuke teams in 2021, right? Like, we've already seen 2 different smoke walls from Heroic, and we haven't even seen the standard ones, right? The normal red cross, you know, just 1, 2, 3 smokes. So, yeah, Heroic have at least 3 ways to throw the outside smokes, if not more. And there's lots of ways to use them, whether it be cross secret, to fake, to pop main, to go garage. There's so many options available outside. That's why it's you know, the most popular position on this map. FaZe leaning away from it in this round. Karrigan can't do it again. Spam through the smoke this time. And they've dropped B. two of them, trying to come back up outside, expecting Heroic to take this yard, and they are. They're lining up the util. There's still a smoke by Vent, so Rain's holding on, or Twist rather, making sure no one's gone down. Rain is coming up, but he gets Molotoved in secret, and that once again gives Heroic dominion over yard. If they want to do it again and split ramp into this B site after they have lower, there's still two players here, although Brokey peels back, and it's only Olaf left.
Oh, that's a nice timing caught by Rain.
Awkward.
Now with the re-smoke down from Olaf, yeah, there's a bit of a gap in that, and that might give them the confidence to go running through Olaf. They run him down. Brokey is set up in hell to thin this herd out a little bit, and there's still players down on B should they be needed. However, Rain's already snuffed out. That was Tessez catching him over towards main, and that might pull Heroic back, no longer wanting to drop down lower. As we say, you know, we did have Rain and Twists both there. Twist is still lost to that B bomb site, but Karrigan and Brokey are over here on A. These two were the beginning and ending over on Inferno. That was always the way, but now Brokey's going to do it all. That's a hell of a flick. Any more, they drop down lower, but lower isn't safe, man. Twist has been waiting here all damn round for his chance to pounce. This is the opportunity. Twists with one. It's a clutch attempt from Brokey. The AWP dropped. And he's onto the M4. Stown's feeling the pressure. Heroic, they needed answers. They need this round. It's their chance to start to get some onus over this game. And Stown is often the guy to put a stop to Brokey's clutches.
Oh, the double back. This is the timing, though. How long will Stown consider it? He heard the flash come through, and now he's starting to doubt. Both doors are off. Could be either way. Timings. Brokey, he's being held, and Stown turns around as Brokey clears the corner. Perfect play. The anxiety of that bugged, broken door. One of them off. It helped out for Twist, right? He was able to catch them by surprise on the lower site, and then Brokey fakes him out. We call him a clutcher, and he shows us why.
Mate, that AWP shot as well.
Yeah.
That AWP
What a wrist breaker. He couldn't see him for so long because of the nade.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, mate. Like, even when he gets it, I was thinking, like, how did you just see that, man? Like, I'm struggling even with the X-ray.
FaZe keep making right calls, but because Heroic are playing slow, they keep pulling out of ramp in the mid-round. That's like twice that FaZe have left ramp as Heroic are grouping for it. It's awkward. They're still winning the rounds, though, which is the funniest part. But, yeah, it's getting scary. Quick outdoor. This time, Karrigan's not there to support. He just gets in time, but Heroic are already down lower heavy. We've seen these quick B-rotates from Olaf. He's ready as well. Drops down. Nade shows that Tessez is up close, and he's fully blind as Olaf sets himself up for a double kill. Man, he is free.
That's a little awkward as well because, you know, the bomb and Tessez made it down low, but he didn't want to plant. Like, if he plants there, the round's over. It's done. So he tries to rush the ramp kill. It was like the only option he had, really. And I think you have to come to terms with when you're left with one man down lower out of the two that make it through vents. You know, the round was pretty screwed from that point onwards for Shush and Katie, and they've got these rifles, they've got these AKs. It's about how much damage can they do. It's just the whole map is a big question mark. All the real estate owned by FaZe, and even though you've dealt with Karrigan, well, that's just info for FaZe to work off of. Right now, they know where this last man is.
Double peeked. Oh, nice shot. Still an AWP to deal with, and Brokey, he can give it up, but he doesn't want to. Full faith in his aim, and he hits the shot. Of course he does. 8-1. It's not the, you know, I was going to say slow start. I wouldn't even say Brokey had a slow start on Inferno, but he was struggling to win rounds single-handedly. He was struggling to come in with clutches, and that's because it was a T-side start with an AWP. We see the difficulties. Right now, CT Nuke, probably, maybe you'll disagree with me, Harry, probably the best half in the game to AWP on right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, I could put it up there with maybe like an overpass, something like that, like another AWP-dominated map. But no, man. Yeah, I mean, you so often see AWPers come alive here. Also, I think this is one of the maps that's really benefited from the A1S buff. Like, those outside smokes, the vent drop, these are all things that are made so much tougher in the A1S meta because of that smoke spam potential, right? We've seen it out of Karrigan in main. We've seen smoke spam outside when the smoke walls go down. And there's very little you can actually do to respond to that nowadays. You don't have those traces to fire back against. There's no longer really a risk, right? It's like, for FaZe, if it smokes down, you may as well be spamming it. They aren't going to be able to answer back.
All right, more of a standard first smoke outside now, and the normal wall. This is the third different attempt, or third different type from Heroic we've seen. Refresh gets beaten up, crossing though, down to 7. And Brokey's gone down lower to report, keeping Karrigan on ramp. Rain's back garage to make sure no main split or tomfoolery can go down outside. Instead, Heroic, they don't know they're being heard, but with Rain back garage, those steps are communicated over. Olof is now ready for lower control. Gonna just smoke it off preemptively. Make sure they can't commit, swap out, refresh is low. He'll just be the cannon fodder, jumping round corners and getting traded. A gap that no one's exploiting. And there's the ramp push, this double ramp setup that has been, like, what's the word? Consistent, rather, for FaZe. They've been doing it time after time. This time they push up. They knew that Heroic were already heading lower, and so they take back lobby. That's a lot of info for FaZe. They lose Rain outside, but Olof is still here.
Oh, with the swing. Oh, I can't quite convert the second. And so maybe Heroic are in with a chance. Shush catches Karrigan over towards the vents. Brokey trying to get by. They're at double door. The time in, it's making you kind of clench a little, and Twist is holding the top of the vent. So if they try to come up A, they could be dead. It all hinges on where this is looking to end up. If
Shush heaven.
Yeah, I think Shush is going to try go heaven maybe, but no, wait, they've opened the door. They are committing to B. They run into Brokey. And so now Twist's 1-on-3. This one might get away from... I think Heroic, it got a little bit confusing there for a moment. They didn't want to outbrain themselves. Yeah. They make the right call. They group up. They get past Brokey at B. I think no matter what, as long as you're all on the same page there, you're golden.
Time was also a factor. Shush was hell at like 22 seconds, and maybe he's making the suggestion, I can go up heaven, you can come up vent, like you're in vent, what could go wrong, but the anxiety of, okay, we've already lost lobby, they could be door, they were, Twist was sitting there, like Twist wins a round if they go up vent more likely than not, and Shush couldn't have cleared that from heaven. So I think with the time low, Heroic, like you said, don't outbrain themselves, make the safe call, we've got lower, we've got to pick, let's commit. And so they do, up to 2. But a gun saved and more money here for FaZe to rebuy. This will be their last if they lose, though. Eco on the horizon. And Heroic's way to earn their way into this map. Kind of an awkward spot for Brokey as well. Where the hell do you play on lower B site with an AWP?
Outside smoke's going back in, but take a look at this, right? Take a look at Rain trying to get cheeky with it. Was attempting to peek over the top of them. Heroic, they run one man down in refresh, trying to give this like illusion. Oh, well, we're doing the same thing we always do, right? It's just one guy running, barreling through. And in reality, the other 3 have all crept through these smokes towards outside. And look, FaZe, they've up and left main. There's a bit of a gap. I mean, Twist is holding it. I don't know why he's ever looking at Hut here. It's making me a little nervous, I guess, because...
angle,
yeah, Karrigan's deep in that, so needs to support Twists, can't manage it, and now he's all alone, having to hold down the A bomb site solo. They're rushing him from either side, and there's Refresh dead. With that smoke in Hut, yeah, it's just coming up through heaven that has to steal it away. And with that double, he will manage it.
Super nice bit of conditioning for Heroic with somehow these outside rounds have gone, like you said, with Refresh running to sell the fake. And so FaZe just, once again, lean heavy into A, drop down lower from ramp, and that gives Heroic so much room. Hello, Olof. Doesn't take the knife because Stan does turn around. Oh, he heard the hit there. Flash hit KD and get out. Olof's going to just try and save and T-spawn. But yeah, really nice bit of fakery there. They walk round main, but not only does Refresh, who was early B, come up the vent as the main pop comes in, but they also gave just enough time for Shush to wrap all the way to heaven. So as Twist finds his kill on A, Shush pops out, trades from above, a position that Twist is not expecting. Really nice round out of Heroic. And yeah, you asked why Twist was holding Hut with Karrigan tucked in the corner.
So that's what I was going to say.
Isn't too nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't. That was like the awkwardness of that setup in a way, right? It's like if it does come towards A, and that was why Karrigan felt compelled to swing in the first place. Was that I'm essentially baiting Twists here, and that's not the outlook we want. He's having to watch 2 angles at once. And that forced a fight out of Karrigan that I don't really think he wanted to take. Yeah, the only guy who could hold main once you lost outside was Twists back in the site. So yeah, it's a little awkward.
Nice round for Heroic though. That all comes down to Heroic's calling and like really complicating things off the back of setting the precedent with some of these previous yard takes. Molly ticks Karrigan, he had to go. Shush does get tagged up, but it doesn't matter as Heroic pop their way into the A site. Little resistance by these USPs. And so a 4th round certainly here for the Danes. This game's heating up after all.
And yeah, something that that was discussed in that little interview with Parler between Cadian and Carrigan was the fact that when they faced them last time on Nuke, you know, Finn said, oh, we had this big lead, and then we kind of let it start to slip away from us. Maybe we got in our own heads a bit, and then, you know, obviously Heroic end up closing it out. You never want to like try and get too superstitious, but it feels like the more things like that start to happen, the more you get in your head and you go, oh, not this again, right? Like that's the vibe. You hope that's not the case here, because this was a rip-roaring start for FaZe out of the gate. They looked really good, but now we're seeing Heroic piece this one together. I think their kind of conditioning and dominion towards outside has helped them a lot in fulfilling this scoreline, and I think that's something that FaZe are going to have to try and deal with.
Yeah.
But that can be a bit of a double-edged sword. It's almost like the more resources you put to outside, the more that can work in Heroic's favor in terms of throwing these fakes your way.
It really is a chess game between in-game leaders at times, right? But we have seen those responses from FaZe, right? Whether it be you know, dropping too lower early in well, it's been everyone, right? We've seen Brokey, Olof, and Rain be at the B site. Be it ramp pushing from Brokey and Olof as well to take lobby back. FaZe have had responses, they've had answers, but Heroic is still throwing them questions. Rain pushed up outside. Oh my goodness, the bait. Is Twist going to go first? He says, no, Rain, you can have the glory. Actually, no, it's Twist tucked even tighter, but still a lovely little setup here for FaZe. You kill one of these players and you're Heroic, and you do not expect another. Full smokes coming out. And here's Rain with the contact.
Yeah, it's a classic bait and switch. Rain is the one who's going to make that first contact. Isn't able to win it out, but that's where Twist was meant to shine. And he's managed the trade. Also gets the info that there was no one else towards outside. No one's attempted a trade. No one's came his way. But Heroic very, very quickly kind of pieced together that, well, if they've doubled out, somewhere's got to be weaker. And so they run into ramp on a bit of a whim, and they get full control. Now going B, Carrigan dead with the door swing. Brokey, they're holding for this peak. If he wins it, you're given a bit of hope if you're FaZe, a reason to give this a go. Brokey has managed that at least. Enticing FaZe in. But with Shush wrapping him, that might seal the deal on a save unless Olof can chase it down. But nah, man, this was really, really nice. The way that Heroic were able to play off of one another there. Beautiful scenes.
Yeah, some of these lurks for Heroic are round saving, right? Be it like sometimes sending a refresh down lower or Shush.
Shush, I think, has been the most annoying so far,
it's
right?
Just, you're getting backstabbed so many times. Even Shush, like running away there and mollying, he just knows the numbers are enough. Living there means FaZe cannot win the round. And, you know, Olof trying to hunt that player gets shot in the back of the head by Tesses.
It's kind of cool because I feel like you're kind of seeing like the two different types of lurking that you can have. And that Refresh is someone who's very much just trying to give you like misinformation, right? He's the guy who's running to secret, making all that noise and, you know, keeping you guessing. He was even looking to do something similar here with the outside push. Whereas Shush, he's a lot more oppressive. He tries to create space and come in on like these round-winning flanks, as it were. You know, think about the amount of times he's gone up towards Heaven, came in, there was that round where he deals with Twist, who's solo anchoring down A, and he just creates so much space from his one. So, you know, he's a lot more quiet, he's a lot more grimy, whereas Refresh is a lot louder, just trying to misdirect you a lot of the time.
FaZe, they've got a lot to talk about, a pause called and a discussion had. There's just so many moving pieces, so many parts of Nuke. Can they stay on top of it? Leading by one, but that should be closing up, right? One gun saved, and otherwise Scouts and Deagles are brought into this round. Shouldn't have much faith in FaZe winning this one. And now just a dry run outside. They wait for the smokes, they do bloom eventually. Or at least one of them. Big gap on the second, but they make it, and really minimal info for FaZe. They know something happened. They know something's down, and Rain finds out the hard way. Everyone lower, he screams. Olof doesn't make it in without info to be grabbed by Heroic. They run him down. A good Deeg on the way out. Any more for Brokey, perhaps? You need something now. You need something right here, and Refresh is coming to you through the smoke. If he goes through, there's cover for Carrigan. Unluckily, Refresh won't make that mistake. Just securing the round with re-smokes at ramp. Heroic finds 6, and Stown is wrapping hell. There's always someone in the back line.
Yeah. Man, like, you know, I think this is where you've got to give Cadian credit as well for the calling here, like how in a round like this where he knows the money is just bottomed out for FaZe, this is the round where he calls, okay, yeah, we're going to remind them that when we do the outside smokes, it's not just one guy faking it every time, and we're not afraid to, you know, push behind them. If you think about it, you've kind of topped up that fear factor of the outside play once again. At least Twists looking like he's going to get away with his guns.
Ooh, close, two health off the bomb.
Oh, no, but he might not. Oh, nice. There's another one.
Yeah. Karrigan looks so confused there. He got a B-pick, but Twist made the call like, he's behind you. Too late. Doesn't matter. Bit of damage for FaZe. You can be happy with that, right? You were coming in with minimal weapon, and you still double saved that M4, so it could be worse. But yeah, it's Heroic are warming into this map. Fruits of their labor showing. And now the score equal. Ooh, Brokey. Oh, he bails. He wanted to cross secret, but he knocks into the wall and decides against it. He missed his timing. Gonna hold the main roof. That's where Tessa sits. It seems like they know. They threw a nade up there as well. So some info for FaZe. Perhaps Tessa's hides down. This is an A hit. We haven't seen an A hit, Harry. Not in a while. Twist gonna stop the first. Brokey does pick Tessus off the roof. He wanted to drop in tandem with his team, who are out, but aren't getting far with it. Bomb now loose, and this round is as good as done in the 2v5. With no bomb, you can't even try and find a gap and get that plant down lower. They're gonna look for ramp anyway. Olof spots and drops. He doesn't want to offer up another kill, and Cadian hunts down, dodging the flash. It's stylish.
Bro, that was stylish.
A beautiful kill for Cadian.
Yeah, Heroic always managed to make these kind of rounds closer than they have any right to be. And I'm really... it's almost mind-blowing how they managed to do it every damn time. They don't have the bomb. This was a 2-on-5. This should have just been written off from the get-go. But suddenly there's hope again. Suddenly there's a reason to give this a go.
And off the back of no mistakes by FaZe, Olof played that fine. He just ran away. He didn't want to get involved. Oh, did that flash miss?
Yeah, it looked like it. I think it bounced. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Okay, not ideal. Not what you wanted.
Yeah.
And now, at this point, FaZe, they can just stay tucked. This is going to be either some miracle, some divine intervention from Heroic, or FaZe just play this safe. They play it right. Everyone's tucked. No one's giving a fight over. And they haven't checked the CT vent. Cadian, while he's nailed the first, time's running out. Time's his enemy. Oh, damage. But Brokey's going to lock it in. As mentioned, right, that was a 2-on-5. It ends with 2 surviving for FaZe. They always manage to get them closer than they have any right to be, but they can't get that over the line. That is just because FaZe, once it gets to that situation where, all right, boys, let's not throw this now, right? Yeah. Like, that's where they really just tuck in. They give you nothing from that point onwards. And Rain getting away with that kill, I think from that point on, it was screwed.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a good round for Heroic. It's one that they say, good job. Yeah, we were like out of that round and we still did damage. Look at the money in FaZe. We can put them on eco and we can win the half just by getting this gun round. And Brokey getting involved, a different approach to outside. He was trying to do this last time, remember, crossing secret or red, but this time he actually makes the spawn happen. Flashed off and, well, Heroic back up. How fortunate. It's not like Heroic ever knew he made it. And they dodged the biggest danger in the yard. Instead, running the ramp smoke. Olof, it's a beautiful double. Dropping the bomb, they've got to commit. They have to go through. They have to get that kill, and they can't. Olof finds a third before the molly blooms. A smoke on top. Rain, they can get the bomb back, but you are not worried if you're FaZe. A 2-on-5, and this one should not be getting out of control. It's the same 2, though, Harry.
Yeah, and what I was about to say is like last time, the reason why they couldn't do anything with this was because they didn't have the bomb. Like this time, they've at least got that. So if they're able to get into like the same sort of 2-on-3, there's a lot more options open to you here. It still relies on both these individuals stepping up massively. Cadian sneaking into this A bomb site, tagged on the swing, and he is out of there. He does not want to stick around.
There was an idea. There was an attempt. Is Refresh going to jump out ramp with his knife? Oh, Cadian gets the info. There's the jump. Olof runs. Not again, Olof. It's deja vu. Run! He can't escape. Not once, but twice. Is this a 2v5 that's going to get our eyes on it again? Brokey is here to win the round, to shut it down, and they're coming down the ramp. The AWP has seen him. The info is there. He's fired off a shot, and he can't convert the kill. Don't make me scared. Not again, FaZe. Karrigan restores balance to the round, and FaZe will not be giving up the half. They keep it contained. 8 at least. and the money saved.
I really hope we see Heroic go back to some of this outside control, because in these last 2 rounds, these are the 2 rounds where they've moved away from it, right? The round before last where they went for the A hit, they didn't throw any outside smokes, they didn't telegraph anything, and what that meant was, like, if you're FaZe, the moment you see those smokes aren't going down, you go, oh, well, it's either going to be a top hit or a ramp rush, and so they just doubled up in both of those spots. No one was outside. That round, they did throw the smokes, but FaZe pushed through it and get that info ahead of time. And so this time we see that wall of smokes coming in again. It looks like a Molotov went out to try and disrupt it, but I think they've thrown another, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Bring on the wall.
But no, this is good. This is a return to what was working. Suddenly you've left a lot more doubt in the minds of FaZe. You don't really know what's happened with these smokes. You don't really know the numbers as to how many have gotten down. There's a lot more question marks in this round, and FaZe have responded accordingly by dropping 2 onto this B bomb site.
Refresh has been baited in. Olof's playing with the door. He is not going to be ready for Karrigan. He is not looking like he wants to clear it, and Karrigan's got the freebie. Nice little double lower drop for FaZe, but that was never the aim of the game. Heroic are walking outside. Rain hasn't spotted this yet, but Brokey has moved in off of ramp. It's now open. A big risk to make with the late round ramp takes we've seen from Heroic. Brokey didn't realize they're up close though, and Rain also got cleared by Shush at range. So instantly a 3-on-5 has been flipped on its head, leaving Twist alone on the top site. A lot to do. They're wrapping Heaven. Stown can reset lobby. The bomb's being picked up outside by Shush. But where does he go with it? Main should be the safe port of call. You don't have time to waste here. 30 seconds. It's going to smoke door and set up to go. Up vent comes Karrigan at a perfect timing.
Oh yeah, and with a smoke down here as well. That was the one that was just throwing in. It means that Karrigan's safe from Heaven right now. Olof has just seen the main play, and they know what's happening. Now, Twist gets knocked out right away, but that's the bomb. That's so important. Karrigan's backing off to try and hide. There's so little time. Olof could win it just by staying alive. With the swing, there's the kills, and Olof locks it in. The hat trick at a 9-6, and FaZe are up in the lead. Heroic, they're staring elimination dead in the face if they don't pull this one back. Oh, FaZe looking for a 2-0, but can they get there? We'll find out in a moment.
I think our performances this year has been 7, I would say. I think we have our ups and downs, but I think at the moment we are still progressing, and I hope we can get it
2021. We're closing the year, and it could be with a whimper, at least for the Danes. FaZe right now, who have been unable to knock out this team on Nuke, are leading by 3 at the end of the half. Some masterful calling from Cadian to start it with some excellent fakery and outside takes, but in the long game, FaZe have come out ahead. An exciting matchup, Harry, a 2-0 perhaps, but they've got to prove it first.
Yeah, FaZe are no strangers to having been in the lead here before and then having it stripped away from them. So, you know, you always have that kind of eating away at the back of your mind, but right now they are the ones up in the lead and they are feeling good about this. We're also having a nice little return to form out of guys like Rain. Yeah, he got that heaven smoke going up and over, but it's not looking like the A play out of the gate.
Well, yes, it is.
Show a bit of presence at ramp, and that's to try and keep this stack here. Now they go back into A late.
Nice smoke.
Smoke as well, dropped over the top from Garage. T-Roof, rather.
Yeah, it's nice because you don't have to open the door and telegraph your play, and also we saw the danger of throwing door smoke in the first pistol, didn't we, with Brokey blocking it. Little flash play to get your Heaven retake activated. He gets out very wide, but everyone's here to receive for FaZe. Double from Rain. Tessa, same story. Main plant, though, and no kick currently. The time ticks to not to the favor of Heroic. Quick tap is going to force FaZe to peek in, but they already know it's fakery. Tomfoolery. Boost to the back of the vent. And can they see the bomb? I think so. Brokey and Twist find a headshot apiece, and another double might mean nothing unless Stown sticks the defuse. There's just no time. Oh, chasing Brokey, and that's enough for FaZe to find a pistol.
Man, it's little things like that that just show why he's such a good clutch player in those moments as well. Like, how do you make... He's trapped in, like, the tiniest of cubbies, but even then, he just drags that fight out for, like, the extra second longer than he had to. And then goes on, obviously, to dome the guy anyway. But, you know, it's just a great example of, like, time management. He knows he's won the round on the back of that alone. Nice stuff out of FaZe, and now with a pistol locked in, this is maybe where you start to get a little bit worried. You're looking at Heroic, you're saying eliminations on the line, and they're coming in with a force buy that you're hoping can find results if you're a Heroic fan.
Yeah, FaZe have really come in prepared, right? It's something that we wanted, you know, in this game. You know, playing Heroic, that you're going to have a nuke pick, like, you know that's coming through based on history alone. And so FaZe have really done their homework. A lovely pistol round execute. I think they dropped Karrigan both smokes as well, so he had the Heaven smoke, the little ramp fake, and then into the main smoke from Rafters, of all places. Double scout, Deeks out, and FaZe are B. And no one even knows, Harry. The wall of smokes that FaZe walked behind, and Heroic only spotting from hell. At this point, it might even be like a blame F round, right? It might just be a, oh, they're going to plant B, let's save. We'll have to see if Heroic work this one out in time. Hey, Karrigan could just walk through main, and if he sees 2-3 players, he tells his team to commit. The stack is upper. Win the round, boys.
Yeah, you know, the only danger of this is that, like, in these kind of stack gamble rounds, if you give over this kill and then you go plant B, Heroic might feel tempted in the 5-on-4 to go for it, right? But now, numbers game, we often say that. You might think about saving. Now you're definitely thinking about it, man. If Olaf lets you, that is. Little triple up from him in the lobby. 4 bullets, mate, and they're still coming his way. But it's a double scout save out of Heroic, and that's if FaZe let them get away with it. Look at this. They are hunting up from B through the lobby.
Twists.
Oh my God, yeah.
Before we cut to
Bro, yeah. Yeah, he's like back in the sight. Wow. Oh, well. Stown should be screwed here.
Oh, baby.
No, Karrigan's got the jaws, the maws, the claws out, man. He's cut them down with the knife. A little bit of BM, trying to get in the head of a man like Heroic.
Yeah, day in on day in action. You can't not love it, because you love it, Harry. And FaZe, they're really laying out the red carpet right now with the blood of Heroic. It's fine, though. It's not over yet. It's still a gun round that we're waiting for. It's just going to have to be delayed by one more full eco. And I mean, this is a vibe that Karrigan's been feeling all day. If you did miss Inferno, the opener to this matchup, FaZe's pick, they took it, and it was Karrigan just absolutely dominating on the T side. Some incredible entry work. So, keeping up appearances here. Now, it is an A stack, and FaZe look like they want it, but it's only USPs.
Yeah, this should never get out of hand, ever.
Surely not.
Here we go. Out they come. Okay, Karrigan's dead.
Maybe bail.
It's fine.
Maybe bail.
it's still up in the air. The USP's doing something, but now they're pulling through and everything's fine. We were never even worried. Twists gets it all back under control. And so there's the conversions on the back of the pistol for FaZe. This is going to see them with one hell of a lead. And with the CT side locked and loaded for Heroic, this first rifle round matters so damn much, Hugo. Right? If they fall short here, you know what it's like on that CT side. You know how tough it is, you know, to get your finances in order. If you lose this, mate, you're down to a partial investment at best, up against 13. At that point, FaZe are running away with this game. This is such an important round for the longevity of Heroic, not just in the series, but at the tournament.
Carrigan, the main drop. The main player backed up outside, but hit the smoke from Yard, eluded his vision. He was too close to the wall. Now they run ramp, and it's a desperate time and even more desperate measures. Cadian's picked Olaf. That did not go to plan. Literally, that smoke outside screws Carrigan's entire round up. He had the main player out. He had the timing to get that A pick, but he couldn't see a thing. And so FaZe are obliterated in an instant. Exactly what we needed from Heroic. Yet to lose a player, they'd love to keep it clean, keep it 5 alive. Can a 2v5 be made weird? Heroic certainly gave them a run for their money in similar positions. Got enough smokes to craft a little wall on the fly. And Brokey's going to try and get down lower, but big gaps are causing problems.
Yeah. I wouldn't really call that one a wall, but luckily enough, right, Twist has dropped this one to give them a little more purchase towards outside. However, there is this gap on it.
It is weak.
Can't expose yourself to Stown as they move into A. There is this crossfire between Shush and Cadian, and it's so strong, man, because as you're focused on that AWP, as you're homed in on him, you're worried about Heaven, you're worried about Vent, you're worried about Lobby, about Hut. CT Vent is then just able to pop you in the back of the skull, and that's never even needed with Cadian doming them on that AWP. And I do think if you were going to look towards anyone to try and, reinvigorate Heroic, this is the time we look at Cadian. This is the time we look to him. Tenured, experienced IGL, incredible AWPer on this map as well. We've had some phenomenal rounds out of this guy. Some of my favorite moments on this map have come out of him, mate. You remember that one? I think it was Furia where he's, 1v2, Tech 9, AWP, dude. He has given us some phenomenal moments. He has saved Heroic in games like this, on this very map. And so he's someone I'm gonna have to put a lot of attention on here.
Yeah, especially with Brokey having a great day as well, right? Like he was coming in the first half with clutches, and he's up top of the board right now. So it's reassuring for FaZe, obviously, but yeah, all the more reason for Cadian to step up. 3 kills with his first CT AWP, and FaZe, they realize they're not out of the woods yet. They've not found this victory at the moment, and a bit of a broken bye. P250 and Rifles going to run a smoke wall as well outside. Also, it looked like it. Maybe going in a bit later instead. Waiting out those early Yard Molotovs.
Oh man,
chunky.
Those nades are brutal. FaZe once more are just looking to sneak down behind these smokes. They've done this before, right? Just the hold shift and walk on down. There is already Refresh down low and now moving up Secret. Around this corner, but there is. Oh, no.
That wasn't necessary. All mates. Oh, the molly hits down. There's nowhere to go. But the B site for FaZe, door going to get swung open. This test is already set up. Now, this is very quick. As a third lower player, they're not ready for it. Nades out. Brokey's caught. Test says they now know he's here, and if they want to slow it down, they can.
Yeah, I mean, you've just seen a third guy. You might get a bit paranoid just as to how many are down on lower, but it's very quickly falling apart. That moment of pause, that moment of doubt where they start to look elsewhere, suddenly everything's gone awry, and Carrigan is left in this one 1-on-3.
That's so awkward. After a double entry down into lower, you're just so sure you can run into the bomb site and plant, but that quick rotate for Heroic just puts so much doubt into FaZe that they spread out and take 1v1s, all of which are lost. Carrigan, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt here. Little smoke towards the door. It's exactly where he needed to throw it to get this bomb planted. But Heaven player, and running through the smoke is Shush. Had enough. No plant for you, no money to be made, and Heroic are trying to claw their way back on CT side.
Yeah, I mean, this was a really nice set of responses out of Heroic, right? And it felt like you kind of saw, as you say, like the moment you see that third man, it starts to get you very, very anxious that, oh no, what if they have got, 4 players down here? They kind of had the read on us, and it was that moment of doubt. Sent the whole round into disarray.
It's a hard spot to clear as well. Like Rafters there, right? You got to come out through double and single at the same time and split it. And then there's the added pressure of, oh, has the ramp AWP rotated? Exactly. It's a Hell player. It's Cadian. Like he's probably going to be supporting. And yeah, you can understand why FaZe would want to double back in that position, but they just lose all their fights. Cadian's come up from lower to start the round. Roki's buying time. FaZe using this round as a bit of a tactical pause. I'd presume it is live. They're just chatting it away, figuring out what they want to do in the next gun round. Why waste the tac timeouts? But eventually, they've got to go. Like, lambs to the slaughter. That's really all you can hope for. Down in the perfect position to stop this. Unless... Oh, okay. A run boost, perhaps? Oh, yeah, I mean, it falls a bit short.
Yeah. And, I mean...
Fresh stole all the kills.
As is the way.
Yeah. Got to be quicker if you want your eeks. Oh, nice.
Tessus is like, oh, I got one. Okay. Right, well, there's no ignoring that Heroic are building back into this game, right? Like, FaZe might have won the pistol. They might have got the conversions, but then the rifles came out, and now it's been a very different story since then. It's not like it's a one-man show either. It feels like we have had... big moments out of everyone, right? Cadian's being a nuisance with this AWP. Tessus' rotations down towards lower have been life-saving. You've got FaZe kind of right where you want them, with everything, all these rounds being all in at this point. Oh, and this time Cadian's repositioned once more. A fast drop down through ramp. He's looking to go up secret. Considering it looks like FaZe want to throw these outside smokes, this is a big position for Cadian. He's going to get this info ahead of time as to whether or not it's a fake. Is there anyone moving in behind these smokes? The fact that Twist looked like he's been dropped the second makes me think that these are just fake smokes. And yeah, that is the case. Everyone else grouping up in lobby.
Cadian knows. Oh, it's gone very quiet. FaZe setting up the top hit. Oh, the molly misses. That was for the back of the site. It bounces back. Hot Roof does land, but Shush is still here, unperturbed by the missed utility. With that smoking hut, FaZe just can't commit. It's too much of a deathly choke point. 50 seconds, no grenades, no map control, and no fake that's worked. What the hell do you do here?
That is so awkward. Everything that FaZe have tried in this round has just fallen flat on its face, and it's very, very ugly. It leaves them with next to nothing.
They walk out A, they're dead.
Yeah, you're running into a heavily stacked A bomb site with very little to work with. You just need individuals to deliver. Shush holds on, he does what he can, but ultimately the site is overwhelmed. Considering FaZe had literally nothing to make that happen, that is very impressive. This could have been a stupendously ugly round, and instead they have a bomb plant, they have a 3-on-2, and with Cadian so low, we are all in on Tesses being the guy who has to make a difference.
Yeah, he has to clear close, though. If he doesn't, it's all a done deal. The barrel, going to give it away. Olaf moves. Oh, he gets a spot back. Tesses now. He's still got a 1v1. No one can save Olaf here. Got to find more, though. Back of the site is Carrigan. Twist up close, hits the shot. Cadian does the same, and Twist just needs to buy time. A few more seconds ought to do it. Cadian drops in. One shot, and Twist has got it. Of course, it's the headshot. Style points added, and that is a massive round win for FaZe. They had nothing, but you know what they had? They had one thing, Harry. They had a Molotov. Went behind the CT vent. Couldn't have picked a better place. That is the reason that A site falls apart. Your crossfire is melted. You don't have a smoke to stop it. The one benefit of doing that super late round play, not that it was what FaZe wanted, right, was that Heroic had no more utility. They used everything they had, so couldn't smoke the molly, couldn't, get the crossfire working. FaZe go 3 for 2 on the entries and somehow win that round. Unbelievable. Never should be theirs. But that's why you believe in the in-game leader. And look over on the B stream. Fnatic, a map up right now on Ence's pick, 14-13. Fnatic looking to long out this tournament.
It's close. I see Smooya sat up there top of the board right now. That's always a promising sign.
Yeah, Snappy back in the server as well for Ents as well.
Oh,
so,
that's banging, man. I was so glad when he said that he got the test that could get him here.
Paul Madden flies to Sweden, plays a BO1, leaves. But got to do what you got to do. And yeah, Fnatic, I think, everyone's kind of rooting for Fnatic a little bit, like Brits or not. You want to see what this team can actually do. They come off the back of back-to-back flawless event wins into IEM Winter, a LAN with tier 1 teams. It's a very different level of competition. And okay, they lost to Gambit. They put up a good fight. Fair enough. Gambit looking good. But taking down Ents is at least reassuring for Fnatic, if they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the $1 million question, right? Now, I kind of want to go back to that last round that we just had here. Yeah. Obviously, we spoke about this a lot in terms of it was like everything FaZe tried to do went horribly wrong. And they do the outside smokes, and in their head, they're going, oh, this is great. Like they don't know what's happening outside right now. Well, as we said, Cadian had that info from Secret. They knew from the get-go. Then they fluff the actual execute, like the Molotov misses, the Brokey throws. They get smoked in heart. But this is where I think you have to give Carrigan some props in that he didn't just commit to that original decision, right? He was like, no, this actually isn't right. The time to strike is not now. I know it might sound crazy, guys, but we're just going to hold off. We've got one molly, but I know if we put that molly in towards CT Vent, there's a chance that can be our opener. It's a very good example of someone making something out of a round that you really kind of weren't cut out to win.
Yeah, but on top of that, right, you wonder, like, is there longevity there, right? Because that's not a reproducible round. That's
no,
100%
no.
Again, so.
But also, that was never, no part of that was like, oh, this is 100% going to plan.
I think the question is just, does FaZe have more cooking, in the back of their mind? Do they have more things to show us on this T half? Because we know Heroic are more than comfortable.
I mean, the complete and utter flip side to this is like, imagine if that was a Heroic round. Imagine, I think at that point, that's when you really start to eye up this idea of Heroic being back in this game, right? To have kind of thrown the gauntlet down and have had your exit go so ugly and then just get turned to mulch on an A play, that would have been devastating. So I think really, like at least for the mental side of the game, it was so important for FaZe to win that when you talk about longevity. Also, that we have a little tech pause right now on the Heroic side. They've had some problems. These are always a little bit awkward as well because you just had that round stolen away from you.
Love to talk about it.
Exactly. But instead, you're just having to sit there and kind of stew in it.
No, that does hurt. And FaZe, they're feeling a little bit elated, I can imagine. They just want a shocker of a round, so you can just...
Here we go. Here's the lightning recap for everyone.
Speed capture. Did you miss it? Tough.
Yeah. Don't worry, that's a future deal, man. When we get the TikTok partnership, all matches will be played at like 50 times speed.
Yeah. When they cut out?
That's what the kids want nowadays, mate. It's all about like 10-second, easily digestible content.
Yeah, I knew what happened
CS game's an hour, so we need to figure out a way to condense that into a 12-second format with, some helicopter memes sprinkled in there.
Yeah, it's like the YouTube videos where they cut out all like the ecos and they just put in the highlight rounds, and it's like that, but one step too far.
Yeah. Has science gone too far?
Maybe with replays like that, but yeah, just a frag movie that will be forgotten. This is an entertaining game, though. I mean, a lot of me still wants a bit of Mirage, because it would, of course, mean that if Heroic pulled this little comeback and then run on to an equal map. And I like that they call a pause after this, right? Because they haven't been able to talk. It's been a tech timeout. Now Heroic, they want to, reevaluate. Okay, guys, the comeback was good. We were winning our gun rounds. It's one little mistake that comes down to a 1v1 that we lose. Like, whatever, go next, pick up another gun round. They've got the money for it. So I don't think Heroic are too flustered right now, despite the score. What do FaZe have to show us?
This is like one of these moments where right now the ball is still somewhat in your court as to whether or not this comeback keeps coming in, right? You say, if they win this one, they're right back to where they left off, and they break the money of FaZe. Suddenly, the comeback's back on. It's fire in their eyes, and they're all pumped up. If they lose this, however, very different story. And that's where we start to really have to come to terms with this idea that this could be the last time we see Heroic at this event. Ooh, little fight outside. Brokey spotted him, though. He's got him trapped.
Ooh. Smoke does save Stound's life, at least. Came down just in time. FaZe have done enough outside to put the fear in Heroic. Look at Rain. He's walking the smoke to Garage, and he knows with this cross from Stown that he's got a little bit more room. However, that room is being collapsed upon by Cadian. Only so far you can go. Cadian doubles back to ramp, though. It's not a bad call. There are still players setting up radio, but that's going to give Rain the room to move if he wants. And there's a spot from Tess's. Cadian knows they're coming. Up close, Carrigan knife out. Only thought it was Tess's deep, and now he shows his hand. 2 kills from Heroic. This is a Rain round. We need him to come in on this big flank. Otherwise, there's nothing FaZe can accomplish. They need to buy time.
Oh, but Heroic is so aware, man. Like, as they're going back to hell, they know they haven't had outside control. They know this is a possibility. Twist. Oh, that's a double opener. Cadian will deal with Rain, so that flank is a non-factor, but Twists has at least opened up the A-bomb site. He's now got to go one step further, though. He needs to keep an eye on Brokey as this bomb's going down.
Ooh,
Twists takes off another head up through the vent. Stown is looking for the backstab. But is Twists the man you want to try and fight right now with the round he's having? Oh, it's another. He might be on for the ace. All headshots as well. It's clean out of Twists. And it's what was needed to save this round. Only Tess's left. Brokey's going to make first contact. Twists here as well to help him. Is it the ace? No, Brokey steals it away. Regardless, it is a hell of a round. All headshots for Twists. Beautiful scenes.
The double hot setup. There's no way he's ready for that one. There's no way he knows what's going on, but he still hits every single shot. That was a round that never should be FaZe's. A 3-on-5 back into the A-bomb site. The non-factor flank that you mentioned, Rain gets nothing done. You thought, mate, he climbed up heaven and Cadian walked out hell with no info and checked him. Good awareness, but it means nothing when Twist is getting hyped up. 14-9.
Tie this all in back to the context that all the way back with Inferno. Cast your mind back. I mean, Twists was nowhere to be seen for the entire first half of that game. The turnaround that this guy has had is monumental, and it's been so important to the success of FaZe in this series.
20-9.
There's nothing for Heroic in this round. It's very mismatched, right? They've got these M4s. They've got to do it all. Cadian and Shush feeling the bulk of the responsibility, and at least Cadian's opened up, but it's not without answers, without responses from FaZe Clan.
That's a good refrag. It keeps things even. You get to slow it down. The door smoke comes in, but if anything, that's a sigh of relief for FaZe. A moment to catch your breath, to assess the round. Work out where you want to go and what you want to do. Ramp scout. Cadian wants info. He's had enough of waiting. Yard has been left with him clearing out Rain, who has been that garage lurk in previous rounds. He's going to take the space, push all the way in. If FaZe hesitate, which they are going to do to set up roof utility for another A-pop, Cadian is going to be right behind them. And he might meet them right where they stand in the lobby. This could be the round in the palm of his hand, and Cadian fires off 1-2. Bomb dropped. Cadian out of ammo, but it doesn't matter. All the info and almost all the kills. Stown does miss. And FaZe, this one's still up in the air.
It's another 2vx out of FaZe that's going to have to come through. Brokey will win that fight to Stown. Heroic cannot get ahead of themselves here with the smoke down, the bomb out in the open. They're going to try and drop the vent, but Brokey spammed through it. On the CT side, Carrigan was the master of this position, and now he teaches them all about it. He drops down through the vents and gets away with that bomb, but Shush is in pursuit. I don't think he's going to wait around here. They're both going to swing him. They both peek him. And Heroic, they reach double digits. Nice. They managed to get it done with a hell of a lot less. A huge round from Cadian, a huge read. And then the rest of the boys are able to close it out.
Yeah, you can compare these outside takes for both teams. Like, they were really, like, even though we only had 6 rounds for Heroic, it felt like they moved away from the yard takes eventually, but they were really good when they were running them. FaZe have not had anywhere near the same amount of success outside. Even when they've run full rounds to cross to secret with those smokes, they've been, you know, met with heavy stacks down lower. That round where the third player inside of B of Tess has sent FaZe back up. So yeah, yard has not been good to them, and Cadian reminds them why. Now it's an eco. As soon as you think the FaZe are in control, ready to shut down the map, they lose to low economy, what was only 2 guns. And now it's their money on the line. So it should be a nice, free, easy round here for Heroic. Cadian pokes up, gets another. And clean as can be so far.
Yeah, I mean, you know, these outside takes, it can be where, like, Nuke is won or lost, and I think that's why we really homed in as, like, Cadian and someone to keep an eye on here, and he's really been delivering, right? I think even the fact that he went for a wrap like that in the last round shows he's feeling very comfortable with his position, right? With his real estate. He's got the reads there. Hasn't even needed the AWP outside in any of these rounds so far, but it is an option. It is something they could look towards in the future if they win this round out.
Cadian, more aggression, this time early, gets in the face of Rain, and can he fade away? He can. Seems like it. Stan's going to have a go as well. He finds Karrigan, and they both escape with their lives. Got a feel for Rain. He's been getting picked on his own in the yard. That's the third time that's happened now. Actually, fourth if you count the Heaven Wrap. Cadian's had his number near about every time. They're right behind the Molotov. Will they commit, though? They know this double ramp is often the setup. Instead, it's Stan throwing a nade and bailing. He's too low to want to fight this position. He says, if you want B, take it. I got my boy a refresh down there. FaZe are in no hurry. They still have Twist lurking yard. Olof makes noise down lower, but he's not going to be committing on his own. You would think. Oh my goodness. Surely this is just a fake for Olof to buy time for Twist to take. Bomb stumbling back as well. Olof will commit on his own, and he's putting some time between him and making this noise. Looking away is him and Refresh. Timing looks good. Olof's got the headshot. This is a fake being sold hard right now, but the bomb is coming back, and Twist is looking to cut off any outside rotates. There are none. You know now Heroic have to come vent.
Yeah, this is so much info right now. Cadian could just get shot in the back, and that could really be the end. That could be the demise of Heroic. Twist has got this one lined up. Playing the trigger discipline for a moment, seeing what he could get away with that kill coming in. Heroic, do you even want to give this a go? I mean, it's down so low. You can buy next round kind of anyway. It's going to come with some limitation. But you almost don't want to admit defeat yet, right? You've done all this. You're trying to keep yourself in this tournament at IEM Winter. So you really feel tempted to give this a go. You need to. But with Shush dropped and Stown so low, there should be no hope for Heroic. Dropping into the site, Twists, hiding behind the double doors. It's grimy, it's gross. And Stown, it's only a matter of time. There's Twist delivering the killing blow, and FaZe are up to 15. Match and series point elimination on the line for Heroic.
Yeah, it was Brokey earlier. Now it's Twist. He's the savior of this T-side of Nuke, right? Not only that 2-on-5 that is, 2-on-5 that Twist just goes absolutely hamming on the A side. But right there, that round, and great play for Olof. Not just to, buy time on that lower take, because the bomb went back to lobby. It didn't look like a B commit until Twist got so much space outside. Confirmed there was only 1 point of rotation for Heroic. And yeah, we're seeing some really nice rounds out of Olof and Twist today. Back on Inferno A site, they were beasts. And they're bringing that same heat here on Nuke. One more round ought to do it. Miss nade. Pressure's getting to him. Cadian. He does have an AWP. It's been a while. He's going to walk down the vent. Does Olof know? Oh, he might have heard that scope. You've always got to be ready for something. Some trickery on this B site.
With this open play, like Cadian's definitely going to be feeling pressure to be someone to make the plays to win this round. And with Rain, like a lamb to the slaughter into that AWP crosshair, now you even spot a second man here. You haven't heard that famous fire off, so I don't know if you know there's 2 down on B, but Cadian's fast with the reposition, ready for Karrigan. And this is what we're saying, man. He was feeling the pressure to make a play. He was saying, like, look, I've got the big ticket item. I'm the guy who is going to have to inspire these dudes by making a play happen. And with that double, he might have kept the dream alive for Heroic.
If Rain just stayed in that corner on Secret, Cadian would have walked past him. FaZe was so patient. He would have had a freebie. Instead, Cadian adds another head-to-head win against Rain. Ramp given up as Cadian watches it from lower. It's going to be that A walk. You might just have to be contact here. 2 mollies, 2 flashes. That's all you've got. CT vent molly going in. But FaZe in no hurry. They've burned 1 position. They've burned the hut as well. Shotgun up close for Shush. FaZe, a 3-on-5 that feels insurmountable. They're going to run out A. Shush up close, dead. Twist with a headshot as well, but it's down and Refresh to keep it contained on the A site. Heroic, again, these low econ rounds where it's coming down to 1 or 2 guns. It's Cadian stepping up yet again to save the day.
Yeah, and think back to the last time that FaZe went for one of those low util A hits. It was that CT vent molly that gave them everything. Well, this time when it goes in and you don't get that, your second Molotov, you were hoping to burn someone out close at hut with that shotgun in play, but it doesn't. With neither of those 2 pieces of utility helping you get a bit of ground into the site, get that opener, it felt pretty doomed the moment Cadian got that double.
We were here on Inferno, FaZe with map, and now match point. A couple of rounds lead, but far from comfort. This T side has been stressful.
I mean, something that we mentioned coming into this is that, you know, every time these guys have faced on Nuke in the past, Heroic have won it, but there have been improvements in the scoreline, in the look out of FaZe. Yeah. In a way, it would almost be poetic if this went to overtime then, right? Because there's no game closer than that. It's a fast A-pop in this round, out through the door. Tessez mows them down with help from Refresh and Shush. And it's quick, it's pretty clean, and it's looking like 13 for Heroic.
Yeah, bro, he's just trying to milk anything he can out of this round.
That was like a full investment out of FaZe as well. Like, they weren't like mincing words here, you know, they threw everything into this round for a fast A-pop, and they are now left with nothing up against 13.
They're playing for 30, Harry.
Yeah.
A hint of overtime. I smell it in the air. Oh, that would have been nice, just to take a gun away to stop Heroic from making profit. But really, at this point, money isn't a factor for Heroic. They're winning every round until they're out of the tournament or hitting overtime. And they look confident.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you're in these like comeback spots, you know, it's like you're just giving every round everything you've got, you know, like, because hell, you've got nothing to lose at this point, right? Like, if one slips away, it's all over. It's probably not till you get into that 30th round. That's where you go, all right, well, we haven't just done all of this only to fall down at the last hurdle. That's where we maybe see them tuck in and be a little safer.
Just running out A with Glocks.
Yeah.
Go next.
Yeah, this was never meant to be a win, and so it's not. It's a clean round once more from Heroic. We're going the full 30 as we promised. The entire, you know, the entire game, the last hour, all comes down to this round. Either we run it back in overtime, Heroic keep fighting, they dodge elimination, maybe even just for a couple more rounds, or do FaZe deny this comeback, make it all for naught, and send Heroic home?
Map 3 is Mirage. It's on the tip of your tongue, unless you're a FaZe Clan fan. Why let it get any more stressful than it has? No AWP for FaZe. Cadian's got his. It's been huge in this CT side. Stan pushed up outside. FaZe are delayed on their yard take, but smokes will come down. It's still a heavy lobby setup. Tessus with a deep smoke. Annoying timing. They would love to go, but Stan just spamming through. Someone could flash him if he wants to get involved, but no one wants to make that mistake. Carrigan crosses to Garage. I wonder if he was heard there because he jumped and hit the wall, so there would have been some noise. Stan doesn't know how close he's come to the in-game leader of FaZe. He's going to go hunting, though, going to go looking. Flashed in, making steps. Carrigan knows what's up, but Stan has the headshot. Now the ramp pop. Cadian with a missed shot, and that could be everything.
Man, he's given us such a good game, but a first miss. This is where someone else has got to pick up the pieces. Stan is trying to volunteer to be that man, to be that hero. On for a double right now. Man advantage tipped in favor of Heroic still. There's even this ramp flank coming in, but Olof has provided the equalizer. Are they ready for ramp? Are they ready for it? They've just spotted Refresh. Olof, another kill. Brokey there to help him. It's all on Stan. He needs the ace in a 1v2 clutch to take Heroic to overtime. Wrapping Decon. Olof is low, but he's holding for this swing. Stan dead, and Heroic, they're done at IEM Winter. FaZe soldier on, 16-14, and a comeback denied. It's FaZe Clan the victors in this series.
Hey Future Pros, back on Nuke today with a nade set to get you down.
Well, that match, I don't know. Where do we want to start? There's nitty, there's gritty. But ultimately, for Heroic, it's tough titty because that's it. That's the end of the road for them right here. It was a stretch. I went for it.
Yeah, you really did swing for the fences on that one.
Yeah, but it's true, though, because they're out now. Heroic done, and ultimately that whole thing about going to Christmas vacation early, kind of hurts now, don't it?
Well, what hurts the most is they play.
They have one more.
I was going to say they play in the Blast finals, so they just got to sit around and chill for like 2 weeks. And
I think that was the problem.
Sad.
I think that was the problem for Heroic. I think they looked spent in this tournament.
Yeah,
coming back from the Royal Arena and all the energy there and the atmosphere with like thousands of fans, right? And they just didn't seem ready to play here. That first game against Godsend, right? Like slow starts to halves, losing a bunch of clutches. And I think here as well, just uncharacteristic things happening to the Heroic squad. Again, lost both pistols on Nuke, lost a couple of 5v3s towards the end of that second half. I mean, you don't see them lose those rounds really almost ever, right? If anything, they're good even with like 4v4s, 3v3s. So when they have the advantage, it's just routine for Heroic.
And that loss to Godsend is the really painful one because I've never even looked at Heroic as a team that is like susceptible to upsets of that kind. Now, obviously the BO1 fits into it, but that one really hurts to be put into a position like that. And man, I'm fine. I like the rundown angle because if there's any team in the world who is just like get this year over with, please let me be done with this year. It's Heroic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a topsy-turvy year for them, to say the least, Yanko.
Yeah, I think so with everything that's been going on around the team and also just the amount of tournaments that they've played. And, they started 2021 with some roster changes and it turned out great for them. But, yeah, especially considering FaZe wasn't also impressive in the win, like it wasn't like some of the individuals were completely lights out. Yes, they had good rounds, Twist especially on Nuke. We'll get into that in a little bit, but that's why I think as well, it just didn't feel like it was anywhere near Heroic's best game.
And that's what you got to be happy about if you're FaZe, because the series started out slow. Like it felt like FaZe was even sleeping through the first half of that opening map, and then everyone we talked about Twist and Olaf coming in here on Nuke. It was right out of the gates.
Yeah,
everyone was playing well, and yeah, sloppy, a little bit messy, and some mistakes here and there didn't look great. But again, you take the win in an elimination game whenever you're going to get it.
But we never quite got that Kerrigan clutch that Jason promised me round after round after round.
I said per event. There's still plenty of time. Kerrigan gets one miraculous clutch per event. You haven't seen it yet. I thought it was gonna be a couple situations in this one. Wasn't even necessary. They still are able to take it. And yeah, overall a good half. I know Yanko coming into this. You mentioned a slow start or a slow tournament for Reign so far. Still, I mean, a pretty rough Nuke. Yeah. I was sitting there and I was like, because like at the start, remember this game like opened up as we saw there, 6-2 for FaZe. They were playing really, really well. They got out to a hot lead, and I was like, man, if there's any map where like Reign is going to be able to just get right back into it, outside on Nuke is like his bread and butter.
Yeah, I think though here, as you guys can see now on your screens, really it has been just Kerrigan, Twists, and Olaf like kind of leading the way. Brocky, of course, had his rounds as well. So that's basically what it comes down to. I think Olaf played a full series where he played really well, had the impact throughout, and then definitely helped FaZe Clan.
Yeah, and Twist, an instrumental part of the whole thing for FaZe Clan there. You can talk about his numbers all day, running even some of the highlights. 42 and 32 in terms of KD over